ask the question, right? And we'll try our best to answer it as best we can. And if we can't, we'll escalate up to Dr. Keeler. Right? And we'll try our best to answer it.
Oh, we're gonna feedback. Okay, let me just mute that.
As best we can. And if we can't,
yeah, gentlemen, you are funny.
Give me a few. I'm eating.
No. Wait, ain't it after 10 in the UK?
I've been working. I work late.
All right.
Long weekend.
So guys, look, you may not have seen this, as I was saying about the sort of new topical format. And in fact, the topic for this call is in fact, why you should detox. Now, I know probably a number of the people on this call have already detoxed before. Is there anyone by show of hands on this call that hasn't done a detox before of any kind? Or has never done any of our detoxes? Okay.
All right, Fabian.
Fabian hasn't. Who else hasn't? No, Marvel, we know you've done a detox. We know all of Michelle's gang has done a detox. So, Fabian, I'm going to put you on the spot. Not too much, just a little bit. Let me unmute you, Fabian. Fabian, how you doing?
Not bad, not bad.
Excellent. So, Fabian, let me ask you this. So, first of all, I guess let me ask, why have you joined the call today?
Because I'm about to start my detox. Here's my coconut water and stuff that I bought.
Okay.
I'm ready to start. So that's why Deshaun sent me a link and I just joined in to pretty much, if any questions, to get answered before I start. Because, you know, last year I had the chest problem where you say it's out of what's the name again? Pericarditis or myocarditis.
Right.
Turns out it's not any of them.
Okay.
I'm getting better, but I'm to the point now where I could take the detox. But there's a lot of gas. Every time my heart rate goes up or so forth, it's just gas.
Okay. So it's a bit of like indigestion type of situation.
It might be, because even the last time when I got admitted, it was they couldn't find what was wrong. So that's why the doctor, they came up with all different type of stuff. And then when I wake up some of the morning, these two fingers, I can't move them. They're numb for a half a minute to 2 minutes to at least 5 minutes. So sometimes I wonder if they're going to be paralyzed.
Is that your left or right hand? Because I think the image is reversed.
On both. That was my right hand, but on both hands sometimes.
And that's when you wake up?
Yeah, when I wake up some of the mornings. Not every morning, but most of the morning. So I kind of get used to it now, not to worry myself that much if they're going to be totally paralyzed. But they come around after a few minutes. This morning I woke up, this one was just bent back. The thumb was just bent back and wouldn't move. And then after a few minutes, I get my blood flow and start moving. Right.
So are you suffering from any condition? Have you been diagnosed with anything? You have high blood pressure? Are you pre-diabetic? Anything like that?
No, I'm not pre-diabetic. They say that I got blood pressure. They did give me a dopamine, and I'm just about out of it. My last prescription, 6 months worth. Today I got my last pill, so that's why I'm about to start a detox. I'm not going back with taking any more blood pressure. Deshaun is kind of advising me how to go through it, because she's been, doing it for a while.
Right. And do you suffer from any kind of coagulation issues, like any kind of?
I got a blood clot in my brain.
Right.
None of my brain right here.
Okay. All right. So it's definitely a circulatory issue going on. And you waking up with feeling numb, and that definitely, now there's more questions I would ask you, but it's a bit private and I don't want to put you on the spot in front of all these ladies, but take my hint where I'm headed. Right. Are there any other situations where you know, you wake up or there's lack of function?
No, that just the fingers, just the four fingers, the two fingers on each hand. That's just about it. But when I finish eating, some of the time I feel pretty much nauseated, or like my chest get tight until I belch. So that's
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Now, what supplements do you have at the minute?
Basically, most of them are. Deshaun was the one that I let purchase them for me. So, you know, she could pretty much tell you all of what I got, but she's the one that said what I need. So she could chip in and tell you all the ones that I got, because they're at home right now. I can't literally tell you. I'm on the road right now.
All right, Deshaun, you know anything about
got him the regular detox, deep vein.
Okay.
I think I gave him the Noraplex and the Immunio for his immune system, because with him having the having the vaccine, I got him that to help build his immune system up also.
Right. So with the gas and things that you're having, there's digest and there's also H flux, right? So H flux is not only for acid reflux, it's for any type of GERD, you know, things that you know, anything that's to do with the digestive system. Between digest and H flux, it will be addressed. Now, I'm interested to know what is in your diet right now. What do you eat?
Jamaican food.
Yeah.
There's your problem.
I'm telling him to stay away from the curry.
Well, curry, you see, curry ain't bad. If
Curry, chicken, goat.
Oh, you mean the so it's not the curry, it's the meat that it's currying is the problem.
Yes.
Curry goat, curry chicken, curry fish.
Well, you know, it's turmeric, and I know I boil turmeric and drink it as well. So, you know, it's pretty much the same thing. Only thing the meat is involved in.
Right, the meat is the problem. And is somebody cooking for you?
Huh?
Do you cook for yourself, or is somebody cooking for you?
I cook for myself. Yeah, I cook for myself.
All right. So, where do you buy your meat?
Broad fish and meat. It's from a meat store.
Okay. See,
local meat store or Walmart.
Local meat store. Is it kosher? Is it halal? Is it just frozen?
It's not organic. Just
looks like you froze there, Fabian.
Yeah, Fabian's driving, so I think he's
Fabian was about to lie and say it's good as heavenly meat. A good meat.
It's from Whole Foods, you know. Well, guys, yeah, so Fabian's talking. Hopefully we'll get Fabian back in a second. So Dr.Amsu, what's the way for Fabian? You know, he's hitting on a number of things. If I saw Fabian in the street, I wouldn't think or know he had any health conditions, right? But what he's talking about here is waking up.
I've never had health issues before.
Right.
To be honest, I went to a party the night before, and we were drinking and so forth, eating pizza, Cheetos, all of that. And after about 6 hours later, I was on the road driving, and I just feel that sharp pain in my left, and it just circulated. And every time it circulates, it's harder to breathe until I couldn't move my legs, till I was passing out, was seeing those little spots and everything, couldn't move or anything. I thought I was going to be dead. Even my mouth, everything got numb. All I could say is just, I had to call the ambulance, and ambulance picked me up. And from that, the doctors themselves were clueless. They're diagnosing me I go to 3 different doctors, and only one just said that I got blood pressure. All the others, they're speculating stuff. Speculating this, that. And
so it sounds like you've got TBM syndrome.
TBM syndrome.
Typical black man syndrome, which is typical black man syndrome. we as black men, we're the worst because we've never been sick and we've been doing all kinds of bullshit our whole life. And it's like, I ain't sick, but here's what's going on. We're being broken down. We've been broken down our whole lives, right? So these foods, these poisons, these toxins that we ingest, we may be outwardly, we might look buff, we might look like we're strong and healthy, but there's a lot of inflammation going on inside. This inflammation is eroding, corroding vital organs, corrodes, wears down your intestines, gives you leaky gut, right?
Yeah.
Causes inflammation on your liver, causes fatty liver disorder, right? Non-alcoholic fatty liver disorders, right? Issues with kidneys that we don't know about, right? And one day there's a straw that breaks the camel's back. One time we're out, you know, we smoke, we drink, I'm not saying that, do you smoke?
No, not necessarily, but that night I did have 1 or 2 puffs, not smoke, just like.
He said not necessarily, you know, you don't, not necessarily.
No, because I'm not a smoker.
I heard that answer before in my life, not necessarily, kinda, you know? Not necessarily.
Weed.
So right. So here's the thing, right? Burning weed, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons are a great problem, right? When we ignite any substance, we change the chemistry. You know, its chemical constituency changes, and it can go from something that's medicinal into something that's highly toxic, just like that, right? So you said you were drinking, you was all right, you were drinking, you was out at a party, so you was out late. So when your body was trying to utilize, assimilate whatever nutrients you might have had during the day, you was eating more, you was putting in alcohol. You know, alcohol puts pressure on the liver, right? It's a toxin, right? So in the term, when somebody's drunk, they're intoxicated, toxic. So you were filling your body with toxins at the point where your body was trying to get or you know, assimilate, make use of all the nutrients that you should have gotten earlier on. So this has, you know, has created a cascade. But your present situation, if your doctors are telling you that there's blood pressure issues, you've got blood clot, right? Now you said you got a blood clot in the brain, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is what causes strokes. And and you know what stroke,
they were saying that as well. Go ahead.
Right, stroke. So ischemia, because you know, when there's blood, any place in the brain where the brain does not get oxygen, if there's hypoxia anywhere in the brain, it's like a crapshoot of what's that gonna do? Is it gonna make you blind? Is it going to cause mobility issues? Is it going to, you know, mess with cognition? You know, there's a plethora of outcomes, negative adverse outcomes when oxygen to the brain is being cut off, right? And we cannot stress how important, and this is the thing, again, you know, the typical black man syndrome is we are invincible until we're not.
That's what I was thinking, because I've never been sick like this before, never.
Right. Black man not get them thing there. That's one of the symptoms.
So hold on,
right?
Fabian, are you saying that all of your conditions came about at the same time, all of a sudden?
Yeah, I've been okay totally. Not feeling ill, not feeling drowsy, nothing. I'm a little bit overweight because I'm like 285. But yeah.
How
Wait,
tall,
how
are you?
tall are
How
you?
tall are you? Are you 7 foot?
6'1".
6'1". So you're not a little overweight.
You're a lot overweight.
See, this is the thing, is that are you here in the States? You're here in the States, right?
Yes, I'm in the States.
So, right. So here in the States, we live in a country where 250 is high. 250 ain't all right, unless you're 7
It's
foot.
not-
258, all right, unless you're 7 foot. You know, we have a lot of, check out any athlete, go to any athlete. And I'm not talking about a linebacker, because this is the problem. When we start dealing with linebackers, black men who are told, you know, eat your pasta, eat your starch, get your carbs, build up. You're not big enough, you're not heavy enough. And because of this sports, you know, football, an athletic build, the definition of an athletic build now becomes an issue. It starts to become a lie. Because an athletic build, right? Most athletes who are of average and tall height, they are, you know, 12 and a half stones. If we can convert that to pounds, somebody, right? They're around, how much is that in pounds?
Just 160, something like that.
About 160, 170 pounds, right? Maybe 180. So I know people who are 6 foot, right? Who are 185 pounds. Now there's this thing called fighting weight, right? With boxers and anybody who's in like mixed martial arts and that. You never see in mixed martial arts, it's very rare, or in any form of discipline where somebody's big, right? Have you ever seen a boxer who's 285 or 250? So you got super heavyweight, which is around 200 pounds. Say that again now?
Yeah, I've seen boxers that are big, but they're pretty slow, you know. They can't really.
And they don't, and they probably won't go the distance. And you know, I stopped watching heavyweight fights at a certain point because after round 6, them niggas are slow.
Boxing is dead now. Yeah.
Right. Man's puffed out because they're carrying too much weight, right? But there's different weight categories, and you know, the best weight division in boxing has always been around the middleweight. From super welterweight up to like super middleweight. Around that weight division, that's where you get the best boxing historically, because they're around 170, 150 to 170, 175, because they have athletic builds, meaning that their motility is at its best. Mobility, flexibility, agility, all those things are at their best. And we're talking about tall guys that are like 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", right? Now I'm 5'6", even though people try to tell me I'm not. You're totally I'm 5'6".
You totally are, bro.
All right. And my weight, I've managed to maintain in the 140s for a long time. Sometimes in the winter, if I don't train or whatever, I might get 150, right? And in fact, I weighed myself the other day. I was like 152. So I was like, you know what? But when I've been at my peak in physical fitness, I've been like 144, 142, 144, right? Where I felt strong and fast.
When I was 25, I was 180, but I was ripped. I was going to the gym like almost every day.
All right, so you was 180, right? When you were 20, how old are you now?
40.
So 15 years later, and you're 100 pounds heavier, bro. 105 pounds heavier. Now, you got a driving job?
No. I'm a manager at Walmart.
All right. So that means that you got staff underneath you. That means you can skive and go to the gym and come back. Nobody don't miss you.
Right, and I that's what I want to do, but because I've been sick for the last 6 months, I haven't been able to do it. So with me taking the detox, that's my first step. I'm gonna get back to around 200, 190, 180 there. I'm definitely going to get there by the end of the year.
Right. So by you telling me that you were ripped, you were 25 and you were 185, that's your ideal weight. 180, 185, that's your ideal. That's your goal. You see what I'm saying? Where we are, where we're like, man, I'm on fire, right? That's where you want to be. So join a gym.
Yeah, I actually joined a gym, but I just haven't been able to go the way I feel most of the time. Sometimes I wake up feeling really bad, and most of the time it affects me is after when I eat. That's most of the time when it
right. So and this is the reason why with the 14-day fast is about removing all those toxins, right? And it's an anti-inflammatory fast, right? Detox, should I say, that it removes those toxins. But here's the thing, here's where we always speak about discipline. It's about discipline. Discipline is when you're not in the mood to do something, but you go ahead and do it anyway, right? Every day when I go to the gym, sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like it. I don't want to go. But then I listen to that little voice that says, go in, even if you don't do all the exercises that you want to do, just go in and do something.
Yeah.
Go in and do something. You know, and black man, typical black man syndrome is, man, I don't want to work on I'm not going to do no sit-ups, so I ain't going to work on my stomach though, right? So it's like, all right, work on arms, legs, or, you know, and another typical black man is, I don't want to work on my legs, right? Because I ain't going to walk around. Right. So usually you go into a gym, everyone's on the bench, doing bench press or doing curls or doing something with their chest, triceps, upper body, yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Upper body, right? Even if you just do that and you do some form of jumping jacks or something just with circulation, right? Do something. Even if it's, you don't have to go in for a whole hour. Go in for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Get the heart rate up, get circulation going, and do a few strenuous exercises and then go about your day. And what happens when you do that is you start to build up, right? You start to, I don't know what I did. Not now. I don't know. I just touched something, right? Even if you don't do a whole bunch of exercises, you're going to start getting fitter. The more you go to the gym is the fitter your body starts to become conditioned. And you just, has anybody ever been regular to the gym and then there's a week or two that you don't go? Then you go back and you can't do what you were doing 2 weeks ago. It's like, boy, I was doing such and such.
Yeah, it happened to me already.
So you always got, man is always talking about, you know what, I can bench press 300 pounds. It's like, you used to.
Yeah, for real.
Get in the gym now and try that. Try that shit now. It's like, your muscles are weak.
I went there one day last year and I embarrassed myself. I couldn't even bench press, not even 200. And I'm like, wow. Because I used to be doing 445 on each side when I was 25.
Right.
My chest grow real quick. And I wasn't taking any supplement at all, but I was completely ripped from head to toe. But, after you get kids and, you start getting up in age, got to be working and so forth, you ain't got time like before.
Don't blame the kids. After you get kids. Women can say that because they go through the pregnancy. We don't do, what I mean? We deposit and we jog on. We deposit and it's, we don't have to worry about none of that. But we can talk about stress, responsibility, the stress that comes with responsibility, oxidative stress that takes place too, right? Which can be, I've got responsibilities, I'm worried about whatever, and the the chemical changes that take place, the cortisol, the adrenaline, right, that gets into our bloodstream can alter the way how we metabolize or we utilize, how our muscles start to utilize, you know, the uptake of glucose into the muscles can be disrupted, right? So whereas we used to be able to, you know, when we're young, we might be away from the gym for a couple of months and go back and do the same thing we used to do. I learned the hard way where I was out of the gym for a few months, right? I don't know what I was doing for a couple of months. I think my gym shut down, right? Or something like that. I went back and I was saying in my head, do light weights. But then I was in there was a couple of beefy guys doing some serious weight. And I was like, I can't punk out right now. So I put extra weight on that and I ripped something. And when you rip something, now you're out through injury.
For a good while.
For right. You know, especially if you do your back, you know, the back's the worst thing to do. Right. So it's important that you get back into the gym, get your body acclimated, you know, to exercising again, get your heart rate up and work out when your heart rate is up. So it increases your fitness. So your fitness starts to increase. You can do one every 2 days for the first couple of weeks. Once every 2 days you go in, right? Now, if you do it like your stomach, you do any sit-ups or anything like that to work your stomach, right? Do it every day. Because when you work your stomach and you haven't worked it in a while, you're gonna get that strain. And after a day, you feel it and it don't go away for a few days. So the way to get around that is to work it the next day. Work through the pain. And just, even if you only do like 30 reps, that you do some form of sit-up, leg raises or whatever on your stomach. But get your, like, do elliptical, right? You know, do a sprint to get, and you could do like a minute or 2 minutes where you do kind of a sprint, a medium to fast sprint for about a minute or two, and then come off and then work out. Even if you feel weak, it's gonna start building up your strength and your stamina. Your fitness level will come up. So after 2-3 weeks, you're gonna start feeling back in the zone again.
There's one more thing that I wanted to question you about, because like anytime my heart rate, like say I start worrying about something, my heart rate go up. My chest start getting tight. I start feeling my chest getting tight. And then afterwards, when I calm down, it turns out it was gas. And I'm wondering, why does the gas keep coming like when my heart rate go up? Like that's why no doctor could really tell me, because they've never seen a situation like this before. So the food, you want to jump in?
Yeah. So
and
then
you jump in, and then Keela, I want you to jump in as well.
She's got a whole bunch of things she's writing in the chat there. So so Fabian, you got a lot of things going on there, right? You just described classic anxiety, panic attack. That's what you just described, right? Now you have to understand it, and again, Dr. Keela probably jump in and give us some more sort of technical aspects of that. But when you have a panic attack, remember the sort of psychosomatic response to what you're thinking, what's going on in your mind, is telling your body that something happening that isn't really happening, right? It's the fight or flight response, right? And so that is releasing a whole bunch of hormones and a whole bunch of acid in the stomach. And so all of the symptoms of those things feel like heart attack. They feel like acid reflux. They feel like shortness of breath, but it's in actual fact a panic attack. And you just actually described a classic case of that,
right?
Which is why, you know, listening to you, I think, yes, there is something physical going on to some degree, but there's also sort of a psychological part of this as well. Dr. Amsu talked about stress, right? And people don't, you know, we group so many things as being stress, right? Stress is part of our mental stability, right? And it's not that you have a dysfunction necessarily, because remember, our stress responses to things in nature are actually natural. Anxiety is natural functioning of the body. Depression is a natural functioning of the body. what happens is that we live in conditions whereby there's way too much of it. We're triggering it too easily. We're triggering it too quickly, and we don't have the right nutrition to bring ourselves back to sort of to calm, right? Once we do, once those things are triggered, and they manifest themselves in the body in physical ways, joint pain, hair loss, people breaking out in rashes. They break out in a rash due to stress, and they go to the doctor. The doctor looks at it and can't find any sort of growth or any sort of parasite or anything. And they prescribe you some steroidal cream. Guess what the steroid does? Now that puts extra pressure on your kidney. Do you see what I mean? So it's a downhill thing. So I know I'll let you guys sort of jump back in there, but again, I just want to share that you just described the classic case of anxiety. I don't know if Dr. Keeley, I know you're driving out there. If you wanted to jump in on that, or Dr. Amsu.
Yeah. I was just going to park the car because I had a few more concerns. So I know that I listened and I put some notes in the chat. I mean, if you want to copy and paste for the gentleman, that's fine, but that's at your discretion.
Yeah, look in the chat there.
If you can't see them, I can try to copy and paste. But I'll explain. Okay. The thing is, let me put my hand down. And the thing is, a couple things. If you drink occasionally or just on the weekends, that has an accumulative effect on your liver. Your liver is responsible for detoxing the entire body. It's not the only detox organ, but it's the major one. And the thing is, it helps regulate your sugar, all your hormones, especially estrogen. But if it becomes toxic, you're going to build up estrogen and other things that are going to predispose you to forming clots. That's number one. You already said you have clot in the brain. And the other thing is, I was listening to you and I wanted to know one thing. Do you have raspiness in your voice at times, sir?
No
Okay.
raspiness.
Because all the other symptoms you were describing were vagus nerve symptoms, which is basically saying your vagus nerve is irritated in your lung, in your heart, in your gut. But when you describe also that thing about your heart rate elevating, and you're feeling short of breath and gas, one of the things I was very concerned about is occlusion of the right coronary artery, because that will mimic indigestion and gas. And that's the one type of heart attack that most people, even in the ER, don't detect right away. So you may want to consider getting worked up by a cardiologist just to make sure that your coronary arteries are clean, are open, you don't have any obstruction, and they'll be able to do that with, they're going to do EKG, then they're going to do another test, two different type of ultrasound, transthoracic echocardiogram, and then if they see anything, transesophageal echocardiogram. The difference is transthoracic, they do on the chest, right? With a little gel. If they detect anything in the first ultrasound, the transthoracic, they'll go a notch up and do a transesophageal echocardiogram where you have to swallow a probe. It's a bit uncomfortable. They'll give you like a numbing spray, like a Novocaine, lidocaine spray. It will be uncomfortable, but it gives them a better picture of what's going on flow-wise. And then from there, if they need to do like a MUGA scan to see to get a more detailed flow of what's going on and seeing what's going on with the chambers. And then what's the last one? I just had it at the tip of my tongue, but catheterization. Okay, the reason is you have a history of clots, you're having shortness of breath, unusually elevated heart rate, and symptoms of gas, indigestion. Those are usually hallmark signs that you have some obstruction in the right coronary artery. And it will mimic indigestion, but I've known people who have had that, and if they knew what it meant, they rush themselves or call the ambulance to get them to the hospital, because you will think you have gas, but the gas will never resolve, not even overnight. And in the meantime, you could be having a heart attack and not even knowing it. And then that part of the heart gets damaged, it gets weak, it gets mushy, and then you have another problem where instead of healing fast enough with scar, you get where it gets so mushy, you can have a perforation. You don't want any of that. So protecting your liver protects everything. That's why detox is so important, especially liver detox. And there's certain things you're going to have to consistently modify in order to keep that liver pristine, especially as you advance in age.
Yeah, and some of the tests that you're saying that the doctor should do, I did over $50-something thousand in medical bill. After insurance drought, I got like 5,000 something left to pay. But the test, I went to the cardiologist. They did both the EKG, the one with the gel, and she was like, "You're fine. There's no problem at all," and so forth. One of the times she was thinking that it's the blood pressure medication, which it's possible it might be that is the problem.
And then also too, certain blood pressure medications will rob you of minerals that are necessary for the heart as well as the nerves to function and other things. So, you know, you can easily become magnesium deficient, potassium deficient, calcium deficient. Your heart needs all of these things to properly function, as does every other cell in your body, and especially your brain and your nerves to keep them calm. So it's not just medical conditions that cause the mineral deficiencies, it's also the medications. So making sure that when they do blood work on you, complete metabolic panel, they're also, in addition, checking other things to make sure that, like, say you want certain minerals to be in balance together, calcium and magnesium, sodium and chloride. You know, everything comes in pairs like a man and a woman, right? So you need for those things to be in proper balance. Otherwise, it's going to throw off your heart, because in addition to your heart being a circulatory organ and an endocrine organ, hormone secreting, it is also a nervous system organ. Okay? Yeah. And as is your liver is both a circulatory organ, it's like a massive vein, and it's an endocrine organ. Okay? Okay. All right, I'll take your advice thoroughly. I'll go back and see the cardiologist. What you say the name of the sickness might be? It's called occlusion of the right coronary artery. It can give symptoms of recurrent indigestion. But as things progress, the sensation of indigestion and gas won't resolve. It'll just progressively get worse until it just doesn't go away. And when it just does, so when people have had right coronary artery occlusion, right? Even at rest, they don't feel right. They'll feel nauseous. They'll feel like they have gas. They need to sit up to sleep, right? They don't want to lay down to sleep. They will take a bunch of Tums. Turn at certain time. Yeah, I have to sleep on the left side. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you have to be mindful, because the thing about it is, like Dr.Amsu is a doctor. He's methodical, right? He's a methodical thinker. There are other doctors that just got through because they cheated and they were legacy. Okay, so not all doctors are the same. And sometimes you will have to be your own best advocate, sitting in that room for that 15 or 10 minutes. And unless you know the key words that are going to make their neurons click and say, oh, I forgot about, I haven't seen that in a while. Maybe I should look there so I don't get sued. You have to be your own best advocate, but if you don't know, you can't help your own self.
So, and Dr. Keeler, can I make another point? And thank you very much. And that's a brilliant breakdown as always. And for those of you who don't know, Dr. Keeler is an MD and part of the team, and also very thorough in what she researches and looks at both, not just the allopathic, but more importantly, the holistic natural remedies and root causes of what's going on. Something you just mentioned, Dr. Keeler, I want to share with a lot of people is take notes. When you suffer conditions, take a note. Use your phone. There's an app in your phone. Even use your calendar. Because if you make a note in your calendar, even create, you had a migraine, make a note in your calendar, had migraine Tuesday, what time it was and what you ate. Because later on, when you go to the doctor, you can look those things up. Because what happens is you suffer, mild conditions, mild symptoms of things over the course of 3 months. You go to the doctor and you talk to the doctor about what you're feeling right now and what you remember. Oh yeah, sometimes I wake up with numbness, and you forget the 5 or 6 times where your vision was blurry, or you had a sharp pain on the left or a sharp pain on the right, or your knees were gone. So when you go to the doctor, as Dr. Key was saying, go there armed with notes, things that you might have even forgotten. So take notes about how you feel on a daily, weekly, and this is for everybody, not just you, Fabian, because I guarantee you, when you've been waiting an hour and a half in the doctor's waiting room and you finally get in there and they strip you off and they take your weight and your blood pressure, you think, okay, and they say, yeah, so they say, tell us, so what's going on? And you draw a blank. All you're thinking about is what was happening today or the day before. Man, pull out your notes and go, well, listen, look, typically when I wake up, I'm feeling this. I noticed on a few occasions I was feeling this. This happened to me on this occasion. Typically when I eat certain foods, this is what happens. And it's usually around this time of the day. Be that detailed. Because I guarantee you, and Dr. Keeler, back me up, Dr. Amsu, anyone else on this call, when you go to the doctor and you throw something over the fence, you know what they do? They say, yeah, just give me a minute, please. They leave the room. Do you know what they do? Google.
They have a Google. Yeah. They go to ResearchGate or.
Bro, I've been in the doctor and he took it as
right.
He had his iPad and he was scratching his chin. Because and he's scrolling down. Then he'll think of something else. Wait, do you get headaches? No? Okay, all right. And scroll down. Mm-hmm. Remember, doctors, with all due respect and not for lack of wanting, are not generally healers. They are pharmaceutical technicians. Their job is to do as much diagnostic they can do in 6 minutes and funnel you to some pharmaceutical remedy, right? Or medication. And so they rely on we, the people, not being informed. Not because they want you necessarily to be sick or want you to die. They know they're going to, if you've come to the doctor's office, you're leaving with some prescription. It's very rarely you go to the doctor and leave without something. So they know they're going to get you for something, but they do not anticipate you knowing or describing or being articulate about your symptoms. And this is where most people fail. And this is another reason why it takes so long to diagnose some things, because people go to the doctor not knowing what they've even felt. We don't know our own anatomy. We don't understand the difference between a bruise and a scratch. I know it sounds silly, but I kid you not. People get, abrasions and say, oh yeah, it was a scratch. No, you burn. There's a difference between burning yourself on metal and burning yourself on glass and burning yourself in fire. But when we go to the doctor, oh yeah, I got a burn. So how did it happen? You can't remember. And they're going to provide the same topical cream. But being burnt on a kettle or a pot creates a different kind of reaction than, again, that being burnt with charcoal or something. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make to everyone on the call is, guys, try and make it a habit. Look, we have these things. We have this technology. Dr. Amsu will tell you, if I get a mild migraine or some headache, what I do? I've got an app, but I'll go into my calendar and I put, Thursday, migraine, 2:00, lasted about an hour. And I forget about it. At the end of the year, I go on my phone and I search migraine. Every day I had a migraine comes up. And I can say, okay, wow, I had it every 6 months or every 3 months or every 10 days. You see what I mean? Fabian, take notes. I'll leave it to you guys.
Now, and here's a thing, right? 60% of Black men are obese. Obesity is when your BMI is over 30, right? It's over 30. 30 or over. 75% of Black women are obese. On average, Black people that means that 68% of Black people are obese. 68% as a whole. With obesity comes an array, a whole bunch of dysfunction, of conditions. Most of us have metabolic syndrome, right? We're not digesting properly, right? We have blood pressure issues where we have insulin resistance, right? It's because over a lifetime, we've got into a habit of eating certain foods, right? Prepared in a specific type of way. And when we're young, we don't have metabolic syndrome. So our metabolism is dealing with it. So when you were 25, you probably was eating the same bullshit you eat now, but your metabolism was handling it. It's like, all right, I'm working muscles, and the muscles like, give me that energy. Anything that was not being used was, if it went into fat, your muscle was like, give me that. But the moment when we start to slow down and we ease off and whatever, now we're building up fat storage, white adipose tissue storage. And with white adipose tissue, it is a haven for pro-inflammatory cells. These are cells that attack and destroy normal, natural functioning cells and tissue. It destroys it, right? So there are things like TNF alpha, interleukin 1, interleukin 6, interferon gamma, all these different pro-inflammatory cells. And there's so many of them, right? If you all knew how many inflammatory cells we have, you'd be scared.
Yeah.
You'd be scared, like, I can't eat nothing. So you have to be, when it comes to what we eat, we have to be artists. We have to be precision engineers.
Yep.
As we get older, like, I'm not eating that. I'm going to eat this. You now have to start looking for specific nutrients and minerals. And that's where we start learning about selenium. You know, it's like, all right, is my iron and my copper, are they up? Because that's another pair, right? All these things that require pairs, we start, all right, now our knowledge starts to go up. And knowing thyself is to know your body. Because once you know your body, when your body is getting the correct nutrients and you're providing your brain with all the minerals and nutrients your brain needs, your brain's you won't have anxiety, because anxiety starts with a physiological hypothalamus and your pituitary glands will have some form of dysfunction. And because of their dysfunction, what hormones they send out to endocrinal glands becomes a problem. Now you spark adrenaline or cortisol, some corticosteroid. Now the littlest thing gets you into an anxiety attack, right? Because of some disorder, some imbalance in your brain. And then what we eat, we're putting in all kinds of, and remember, this dysfunction starts with some form of toxin. So the toxin either is a toxin that goes directly, gets into your bloodstream and goes and attacks, or it's a toxin that creates an inflammatory response, meaning pro-inflammatory cells, what you produce in your body, endogenous pro-inflammatory cells, now they go and do you harm. So there's toxins that are, from outside, xenotoxins, but then there's endogenous toxins that we produce inside, or responses to toxins. So the meat, when people say, oh, I'm going to eat my meat, I want to die happy. I always say this, when you're sick, you're not happy. No. It's the most depressing, especially if you can't, your brethren are going out and you're inside because you know what? Gout. I can't even crop a gal now. I can't even dip when I'm dancing, right? You can't do them things no more. It's depressing. When you're bedridden, there's nothing worse than staring up at a ceiling. Absolutely. And the rest of the world is going on outside you. So why do we detox? Because we want to be a part of the world. We want to be out. We want to be enjoying life.
It's quality of life.
Quality of life. Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Fabian, trust me, I think we all could contribute and spend hours talking to you, because you've got a lot of very interesting things going on. And it may be, hey, one solution to all of this, right? But we know regardless, you've told us a few very key things, right? Your height, your weight, bits of anxiety, things going on, definitely some sort of cardio thing going on there. Listen, we want to work with you over time. You say you're about to start your detox keep in touch with us. Let's work together. You have our contact information. You know how to reach us either via the app or
you
via...
know how to reach us.
There you go. Yeah. So listen, but we got to move on, Fabian. Stay on the call. You may another light bulb may go off, and we'll get back to you in just a little while. We did have some hands raised. I know they've been taken down, so I'm going to move back across. Now, on my list, I actually had Patricia. I think Patricia's maybe back. Now, Patricia, if you're back, please raise your hand again. It may have gone down. Jackie, so before we get to Jam and Deverne, Patricia, did you have a question? Because your hand was raised a little while ago. Did you still have a question?
No, it's fine. Dr. Keeler, she was sort of answering. It was just about Fabian, really. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Well, stick around. You may have another question in a little while. So Marva, Jackie, you said Jackie's on the call. Marva, is Jackie back? Jackie, did you have a question? Or do we want to put Jackie on the spot because Jackie came on the call late?
Jackie?
Is Jackie on?
Yes, I'm seeing her, but
is that Jacqueline with a CQ?
Yeah.
Okay. Jacqueline. Hey, Jacqueline, are you there?
I was mute. Okay, you can hear me now?
We can hear you, Jacqueline. Now. What can we do you for?
Well, I was just discharged from the hospital. I spent, on Monday, I went for blood works.
Right.
And on Tuesday morning, they called me to tell me I must get back there to the hospital as quickly as possible because my sodium was extremely critically low.
Right.
It was 118. I went to my chart and it was 118. I went back to the hospital. So they sent me over to emergency. They gave me 2 liters of some liquid. I think it's something nitrate. I don't know. And they kept taking blood. It went up to, I think, 121. Then it went back down to 119. So they admitted me, kept taking blood, and they gave me some sodium bicarbonate. I think they gave me 750 grams that same night, Tuesday night. So eventually it went up to 131 and they discharged me today. The dietitian came and I got a lecture because I told them that I was fasting with just taking water, and they told me never do that again because I have to eat something. You must eat something. So I told them I wouldn't do it again. But I just got home and I came on the call, but not home. My sister came for me, so I'm over at her and I will stay the night here and then I'll go home to my house. So I got everything from them, I got a list of the foods I must eat and the foods which I have to avoid. That much I know. I know about the stuff that I have to avoid because of the kidney problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Jackie mentioned to them about the kidney problem and that you have a kidney problem and, let this.
I know, they know this. And I did mention it before because remember when we were I was thinking of doing the intermittent fasting, the one where you eat 1 meal a day.
Yeah.
And then y'all told me to do the 14-day, and I did the 14-day, and this is what I end up with. I don't know if it's recommended for people with kidney problems. Maybe we shouldn't go that drastic or something.
I mean, see, this is the thing is that not everybody is the same. So, and how are you feeling? Because if somebody is not feeling well and they let me know, then I'll say, okay, you know what, end it and do whatever. But you completed it, correct?
Yeah, I wasn't.
And how were you feeling?
I just felt hungry most of the time, but I didn't feel like it. Only one day I did feel a bit queasy and I threw up. But after that, it's nothing to complain about.
Okay. And this is the thing, when it comes to levels of the body, like different it's the serum, they were talking about your serum sodium, right? That's in your blood.
The sodium in sodium in the blood.
Sodium
right.
in the blood. So at any given time, we have levels that fluctuate all the time. Now, it might be that you went critically, what they would class as critically low in sodium, right? But your general functioning and everything about you was right, and you actually started eating again, right? So, this is something that the reason why we have, the coconut water, the reason why we have the black lava salt is so that your body is actually provided with the sodium, with electrolytes and the sodium that your body requires. So, I am not a diagnostic doctor, and that's the reason why part of our team now is Dr. Keela. Is that's one of the things that she's an expert in, where she can jump in and give her thoughts on what's gone on, because you were feeling fine, and at any given time we may have peaks and troughs with specific minerals in our bodies, and something may be where it's like, man, you need to be in hospital right now. But if you're already started eating again, right, then your body is going to increase in that substance. Now they've given you something to bring your levels back up. Now we don't know what that is. You said that you don't know what it is. Maybe Dr. Keela, you might know what they've given her.
It sounds like they gave her sodium bicarbonate for
No, that's a tablet in tablet form. In tablet form, the night 750, I think 750 grams.
Did they also give you by IV sodium bicarbonate?
I don't know what it is they gave me, but I had 2 liters of something that night.
It was probably either lactate ringers or some sodium bicarbonate, because if your sodium was that low, and the heart is an organ that is electrical, that's heavily dependent on sodium, they gave you the sodium bicarbonate to protect your heart the same they would give somebody that maybe overdosed on tricyclic antidepressants. They are trying to prevent a type of acidosis. The fact that you vomited meant that you were in a state of acidosis, and your body was compensating by trying to get rid of acid the easiest way. And the first way your body will try to get rid of acid is by exhaling, breathing it off. The other way is through the kidneys by urinating out the acid. But if it's not efficient enough, your body will make you vomit in order to get rid of a massive amount of highly concentrated acid. Usually people feel better, but still that doesn't correct the sodium aberration. So that's probably why they gave you the sodium bicarbonate. But in addition, they likely gave you lactate ringers, because it's the thing that's closest to natural human plasma in its composition of electrolytes to restabilize you. And it does take a while to restabilize electrolytes, because you have a lot of flux going on in a million billion cells in your body, and then some filtration. And if you already have pre-existing kidney disease, especially stage 4, where your filtration is not optimal, is truly not optimal, it takes longer. So that's probably why they made that recommendation to make sure you eat. Because they want to keep your sodium stable. Anytime we fast, it changes the electrolyte flux in the body. Certain electrolytes get sequestered in the cells, and others remain outside of the cell. If, like, for instance, if a person hasn't eaten a long time, whether they have starved or have starvation and fasting are not the same thing. Okay. Starvation is not a choice. Fasting is a choice, and it's for a preset duration. But when we do either, the body stabilizes its electrical charge across all cells by reshuffling, pulling some ions in, because the ions have electrical charge, and pushing some out in order to stabilize all the membranes. So with your sodium being low, and it basically set off a little cascade in your brain, in your heart, in your gut, that ultimately affected your kidney's ability to get rid of acid. And that's likely why you vomited, because your lungs couldn't exhale enough acid.
Thank you, Dr. Keeler. Again, another great
what
breakdown.
I wanted to find out from Jacqueline, what day did you vomit on?
Saturday night.
I mean, what day? Like day 6, day 7? Day
How far did you get in the detox?
Yeah, no, she finished the detox.
She finished it. Okay.
Finished it. I think it was
Saturday night or Sunday night.
I can't remember exactly, but it's nearer the end.
Near the end, okay. Right.
It was Sunday night gone, and she had 2 more days after. It was last Sunday evening when we came back from Albany.
Okay.
Yes.
No, it wasn't Saturday when we came back from Albany. It was after then.
All right. So, but it was towards the end, which I just wanted
the latter part. Towards
the latter part. So I was just confirming. I just wanted to get that so that we can confirm what Dr. Keeler was saying. So after after probably 10 days of you fasting, that's where your through your kidney disorder, that's why there was too much acid in your system, because of your kidney's inability to filter out or help your body to get rid of the acidosis that developed. All right, so I just wanted to confirm that. But how do you feel? How are you feeling though, physically and mentally? Aside from they probably scared you half to death.
Yeah, they did, because they told me that I could have had a seizure and whatnot.
Fatal too.
Yeah, that's the usual allopathic.
Well, I was about to say,
that's one of the best. We've had women who are anemic, and they done blood work, and it's like, all right, come back to the hospital now. You might die, and it's like, I feel all right. No, come right now. You might die, and they panic. They put people into a panic situation. So the way how you were feeling, your body was actually dealing with the situation, but they didn't need to panic you. So when we have any ailment going on, any disorder, dysfunction going on, our body's in a state of dis-ease, meaning it's not functioning correctly. So when it's not functioning correctly, there's going to be something that is deficient. And there's going to be, either toxins as a result, and the acidosis is basically toxic in your body, right? Toxins in your body. So, but your body was dealing with it because you was not in a state of shock. You threw up once, which that was your body's way of getting rid of that excess acid, right? And trying to reach homeostasis. But here's the thing, right? Is that apart from them making you scared, you wasn't ill. And any time in our bodies, there's times where our bodies are going through some form of illness, and the way, it's about how we feel. It's about how our bodies are functioning generally, right? And our bodies, the body is, I always say this, the body is a remarkable machine, because even though we might be deficient in something, there's a compensation that is going on in our bodies, right? Now that you know this, right, it means that the way how you detox moving forward is intermittent, but make sure you have your electrolytes, that you increase your, you make sure that your electrolyte content is up. So, the reason why we have these tools, these resources when you're doing a detox is we want to remove calories, but we want to keep up electrolytes. We want to keep up the sodium, which is why black lava salt is part of the...
And I was going to ask about that. How was your structured water intake during your 14 days, Jacqueline?
I was using that. I was made sure I was using that.
Yeah. But, you know, and you've made obviously a very key point here. And we've made this point many times before. I know you may not have been on all of the calls, Jacqueline, is that if you have an underlying condition, almost specifically a kidney condition, right? Kidney, liver, vital organ condition. Of course, you let us know that. We know through experience that, you know, there's almost nobody, unless they have a life-threatening condition, that can't do a detox. And if you're that far gone in a condition, then you're probably not talking to us anyway. You're probably in ER right now, right? You're in some ICU unit. People aren't walking around other than with stage 5 conditions that if they didn't eat for a day, they were going to die. It's just, I mean, guys, keep me honest here. It's just not really how the body works. If you don't eat for a day, you're going to die, right? Now, typically they want you to eat because they want you to take certain medications that can't be taken without food, right? But the whole point is, and this is the vicious cycle, is it not, Dr. Amsu, is that, you know, it's a catch-22 situation. You're having to eat because you're on medication that can't be taken without food. But the reason you're on those medications is because you've been eating food that isn't good for your body. So it's just a downhill cycle here. So Jacqueline, listen, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're smiling, we hope. Hopefully the drama's over. You went through the whole 14 days, you succeeded it. And Dr. Amsu said, it's in the manual as well. Everyone is going to respond differently. And you did it with a known kidney condition. You did it with a known kidney condition and got through it. So I think it's a great testimony to you. Of course, keep up with your doctor, keep getting your tests done. I would like to hear, maybe not now, we've got to move on, but you know, maybe come on a call and really tell us, you know, of all the other benefits. In fact, very quickly, what about your weight? How was your weight before and after the detox, Jacqueline?
I think I lost about 5 pounds.
Okay.
But the last 2 days of the detox, I was feeling extremely weak.
Okay.
Very weak. I couldn't do anything without sitting down.
Were you exercising whilst you're on the detox, Jacqueline?
Not every day. Not every day. So I guess that's my fault.
And what about the Qigong? So here's the thing. We've talked about this extensively. And I did say we want to move on. When you're detoxing, if you don't move, if you don't exercise, you're not going to necessarily do more harm than good, but you're not getting the fullness of the detox. The whole point of detoxification is to have your body doing all the things it's supposed to be doing, moving your lymph nodes, right? Doing resistance training, getting some cardiovascular and some cardio in. That's what really helps the detox get to where it needs to get to. If you're sedentary, it's just not much different than you. I'm not saying you were sedentary. I'm just saying all of these things go into it. And again, this is me talking about you having a known kidney condition as well. So you're probably in the top 5 percentile of people who do detoxes that have a condition that, you know, they need to be a bit more cautious of. The point I'm making is that you got through it. You know, you got through it. Okay, the last couple of days we hear there's some people, you know, they see the finish line and then the sort of psychology kicks in as well. But you did at least 12 days feeling great. Okay. So I think, you know, again, from the outside looking in, you did a great job. I want you to keep monitoring the kidney thing. Keep up with us. You know, we're in the app. You know how to reach us. You can get us through Michelle, Marva know how to reach us. Any issues at all, just give us a call. But again, want to congratulate you and I hope you're in the app. So we're going to give you your badge in the app that you did the 14, Jacqueline. So you are a hero, a heroine to a lot of people. So thank you for joining the call. Again, please keep up with us as well. You don't have to leave. We're just going to move on to some other people on the call here. Next up, thank you, Jacqueline. I did have Sam. Now, in fact, before Sam, nope, yeah, I had Sam. Sam, you still there? Is that Sam from London?
Yeah, it's Sam. It's me.
Hi, Sam.
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good. We can't see you though, Sam.
Yeah. What's the excuse today, Sam?
No excuse, but it's quite late, so I'm laying down. Okay, so you know I did the fibroid detox. I finished that, and then I had the histoscopy.
Yeah, to get them.
Yeah. So yes, but they found no fibroids, but they did find a polyp.
Polyp, right.
A polyp, yeah. So is that quite normal for them to make this mistake?
Well, I mean, that you may have had fibroids and then fibroids went, but you still have polyps.
Yeah.
How many polyps do you have?
Just one.
Okay. And when you went and you found out that you had fibroids,
Yeah.
how many fibroids did you have?
One.
So it probably was the polyp.
Potentially. Is it in the same
now,
place though?
Now, all right. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
How long did you do the fibroid detox for?
Sorry?
How long have you been doing the fibroid detox?
I only did it once.
All right. No.
So,
all right. How many days?
Oh, I completed it.
How many days?
I can't remember how many days. What do you mean, how many days?
All right. So the fibroid detox isn't a set time. The fibroid detox is an ongoing thing until you get rid of your fibroids or whatever tumor or whatever growth you have. It's not, we never tell anybody, right, you're going to do this for this amount of time and they're all going to go, or it's going to go. Everybody is different. We give some women within 30 days, they have 2 or 3 fibroids, they go. Some women 60, some women 90, some women 180, some women at 2 years, depends on the amount, the sizes, and the epigenetics, right? So if you follow the Got Fibroids, the Fibroid Elimination Bible, it lets you know, all right, keep this going. Keep this situation going, because it's, your body took how many years to develop these growths, and chances are they will not disappear in 30, 60, 90 days. Chances are they won't, but your body is moving towards that. You're building, this is the thing with any detox, and we called it a detox because your body has to go through a detoxification process, but it is really a protocol. It's a regimen. It's a system that your body has. It's a lifestyle change. It's a permanent lifestyle change that you have to do. And your body has too much estrogen in it, right? Because estrogen is still responsible for polyps as well, right? So that hormonal imbalance has to be corrected. And
but you know what?
Take,
sorry to cut you, but every time I have these tests, they keep telling me that my hormones are fine. So I don't know what tests I should actually be doing, because it's evident that they're not fine. There
right.
I mean,
when they take your hormone levels, they're doing blood work. They're doing serum hormonal level. That's not telling you what's going on around your organs, right? That's not telling you what's going on around your organs. So the reason why you have any kind of growth in your body is because there's some imbalance going on. So one of the supplements that you have is called Eliminate, and this is specifically for growths, tumors, fibroids, cysts, polyps, for it to go to work on that. Now, the way how each individual's body works, right? Each individual has its own epigenetics. That means that there may be other conditions that you're unbeknownst to yourself that may be slowing down the progression of elimination, right? So the new lifestyle is to make your body more efficient in dealing with maladies, right? So we have to train your body into being able to deal with whatever ailment you have. Your body has to be trained. It has to be put through that discipline. It has to. We have to remove toxins that were part of the cofactors in your body responding with this growth, right? We have to purify your blood. That means that your liver has to be working correctly, right? You heard Dr. Keeler speaking earlier about, the responsibility of the liver. There's a lot of responsibility on the liver when the liver has any kind of dysfunction, and it doesn't have to be a liver disease. They'll tell you, oh, you got a liver disease, but there's liver dysfunction where your liver is not carrying out its duties correctly due to nutrient deficiency, due to specific types of toxins, due to specific types of pro-inflammatory cells that can impede the ability of the liver to help to balance hormones, because there's the production of hormones and then there's the distribution of hormones and peptides and enzymes and nutrients around the body, which the liver has a massive responsibility in doing that. So when you start the process, the protocol is to get your body working optimally again, for your body to be working efficiently, because we go through years where we don't have growths, we don't have cysts, we don't have whatever, because our body somehow is managing its tasks. All the vital organs somehow are doing their job. And it's the breakdown of these vital organs where we start to feel unwell and we start to get growths and we start to go through certain things. So when we start to correct those things by providing them with the resources, we have to keep up the resources. We have to train our body into this way, because dysfunction has to be trained out of us. You know, so it's not something where, all right, the fibroid detox is it's like for 30 days or 40 days, take this and you're going to see this result. We will never make that claim, because everybody is different. And, you know, people be like, well, I want my money back because it didn't work. It's like, no, it's a process. And for each individual, the process can take longer. You know, we've had some people after, you know, some women have had their fibroids disappear after the 14-day detox.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And we're like, okay, wow, that's great. You know, we you know, because whatever toxins they had in their body, that was directly responsible for what was going on with their fibroids. And the moment they removed those toxins, the fibroids could not survive.
But I see something interesting going on here, Sam, and thanks for sharing, and congratulations on finishing the detox, and congratulations if that's the case of losing the fibroid. But it's something you touched on, Sam, and Dr.Amsu, you alluded to, we've heard so many times as well, is this sort of misdiagnosis thing. And we don't know if it's that. And so, Sam, we really need you to go back and try and identify with these doctors if, is the polyp the fibroid they thought they saw? Is the fibroid gone and now they've noticed the polyp? Is it in the same place? Do you see what I mean? So were you able to garner from what they told you if it's in the exact same place? Oh no, it's now a polyp, or is this something else? Has the fibroid gone and now they're seeing a polyp? Do you know that?
Yeah, well, what she said is that because first when they thought it was a fibroid, they did an ultrasound, but this time they did the camera. So she thinks that that they just made a mistake, basically.
Right. And again, so look, it's a growth, right? And we're going to tackle that growth. But you see, this misdiagnosis, luckily for you, we were talking about fibroids and hopefully a benign polyp, right? Let's think of the countless people who've gone in for mixed diagnoses, right? And they've had myomectomies and hysterectomies because of misdiagnosis. And it probably isn't the most common thing that happens, but this is what's happening out there. And so, you know, we're really, in fact, and remember we talked a while ago about you going in to have that scan. So we're really glad you did have that scan. Now, you know, almost for certain. Did they do any kind of biopsy? Have they told you anything about that?
Yeah, they took a sample.
Right. Any feedback from that?
Yeah, everything was fine.
Okay. So, but your body has produced this polyp. It is a growth.
What's the size?
She says she reckons it's 3 centimeters.
Okay.
What
was the original size?
Yeah, about that size.
Okay. All right. So just keep on doing what you're doing. Now,
So
how do you feel as well?
Yeah, because I was having difficulty sleeping, and I'm sleeping well now. I feel great. My body is able to lose weight, where before, even if I was doing a diet or, you know, trying to eat healthy, my body would struggle to lose the weight.
Right.
I've lost 2 stones since I've been doing this. Like, I don't want to lose any more weight because I'm starting to look like a stick.
Everyone keeps saying that. I bet you're not.
No, I really am. And that's another question. I want to know how to build muscles, and what should I take? Because I'm just losing too much weight.
Well, what you're losing, Sam, as you probably know, is of course useless fat, toxic fat, right? White adipose tissue, and absolutely your weight probably up for a long time, for maybe many years, has been built up of this adipose tissue. What we want to do is replace that with muscle and brown adipose tissue, right? And so, and Dr. Amsu can talk about this. What to eat? You want to eat more plant-based, sort of like protein foods. You know, your raw pumpkin seeds, avocado. Eat more jackfruit, more sort of meaty, fatty plants, and of course, as you know, less meats, and do some resistance training. You got to do some resistance training, whether it's calisthenics.
Have you been working
weights.
out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have, and I've also joined the gym.
Have you been doing weights?
Yeah, I have. I've just started.
Oh, you just started.
Yeah, because not that confident.
Okay,
but
so all right. So you've got the Fibroid Elimination Bible, right?
Yes.
All right. So in the Fibroid Elimination Bible, there's a section that has different exercises that I recommend for you to do while you were doing your detox. You should have been doing that. Right. Okay. So, and in fact, we will be starting group sessions where we're dealing with where it's not Q&A as such. It's more of sessions where we will be dealing with each person who has fibroids to find out how they're progressing, what they're doing, how they're getting on. Because what happens is, the fibroid detox right now is a DIY. So, all right, here's the book, here's the supplements. All right, get on with it. And a lot of people don't have maybe the motivation. It could be the discipline or the time to make the time to get certain things that is recommended. It's an actual lifestyle change. It's a protocol, a full holistic protocol. And when any part of that protocol is omitted, that's where we get, man, I'm losing muscle because, muscle is not being exercised. And if when your body's losing weight, right, and you're not working out, it can atrophy muscle. So we're a big part of the fibroid detox is, there's the qigong, but then there's also traditional workout, weight training and squats and calisthenics. Right.
Yes, I've been doing some of that.
And those, when you want to build muscle, you got to use, a good weight. You've got to use weights when you want to build muscle. You got to do some form of weight training. Now, a lot of people are, most Black women want to lose weight, right? They want to lose weight. So we say, okay, while you're losing weight, train your muscle. And muscle is one of the best things for burning fat, right? But cut down on your caloric intake, but work your muscle. So you're building muscle, but your muscle's pulling from the fat reserves, from that energy, from those energy reserves. But it's very important that's what you're doing. Now, how much do you weigh now?
About 150 pounds.
And how tall are you?
5'6".
All right, so you're basically on.
I'm on target, I think.
Right. You're actually.
I'm where I'm supposed to be, which is wonderful.
Right.
So that's what I mean. I don't want to lose any more. Like my BMI was 29 point something. I think it's like 23 or something like that.
All right. So you're 2 points away from overweight. So you're actually at the right. You're on the upper end of your correct weight. So you could lose 5 more pounds, but when you start gaining muscle weighs more than fat. So you'll actually gain weight.
Yeah.
Right. You'll actually gain weight when you start weight training. Right. But don't try to eat to maintain your weight.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know, because like everyone says, oh, you've got to have some type of protein, you've got to eat meat, you've got to have fish. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to do that.
Nah, don't eat any kind of meat. Leave that out, right? Leave that out, because look, what's happened is that you've gone to a weight where you're supposed to, you know, you can stand to lose about another 5 pounds, right? But you're at that area where your body's at a good weight for your height.
Yeah.
And you're sleeping better, right? Your energy levels are up. So this is, and we're reason why I asked you how you, right, your metabolism is back up. You see, so now you're back at school. You're back to school now. You're at school weight.
It's funny you say that, because this is exactly how I was when I was in school.
There you go.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
is the
You
weight where I
were fighting
was.
them off, right? You were fighting them off.
Still fighting off. What are you talking about?
But I need to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've slipped up a few times, and I have eaten things that I shouldn't have had. Like, I've had fish a few times.
Okay.
And I've had a few chocolate and curry goat.
You were doing all right, you know, until you said the curry goat.
She said the curry goat till last, though. Chocolate, we would have allowed her. What's the other little sweet things? And curry goat, you know.
But I haven't had any chicken. But the question is, right, so I get that I need to just continue with the detox, but do I need to take another detox, the fish and the chicken, not the chicken, the meat?
No. That's for the intermittent fasting.
I mean, the intermittent fasting. Now you can, every so often you could do a 14. Remember, part of the fibroid elimination program is the elimination phase. Now you're supposed to be going through elimination, then regeneration, elimination and regeneration, and you can stick a 7-day no food in that.
Water fast.
Or water, right? You can do a 7-day water fast. You can do a 14 if you want. But if you're worried about, I don't want to lose, 10 pounds more, whatever, you can. Now you're at a place where, as long as you're not indulging and slipping up and eating those toxic, because every time you eat meat, you're putting new antibiotics, new hormones into your body, new parasites into your body, right? Every time you eat meat, you're introducing, with fish, you might be introducing mercury and parasites, right? New substances into your body, new bacteria into your body, new microbes. So we don't want that, because they can take a longer time to get rid of. And while your body's trying to get rid of that, it's not focusing on getting rid of the growth.
Yeah. So should I just order the same supplements then that I've been taking?
Yes.
Just stick with those.
And stick with that. And remember, this is a lifestyle change, right? So you're going to alternate for the rest of your life. You're going to be alternating between the elimination diet meal plan and the regeneration meal plan, right? Now, when it's up to you, totally up to you, whether you're going to fall back to meat and other stuff, but your body has already told you, this is what I do when you eat dysfunctionally. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grow some. I'm going to grow some shit.
Yeah.
Right. And you're not going to sleep well. Your energy is going to be low. You're going to be irritable. You're going to give your husband hell when you don't deserve it. Right. And these are the things that we want you not to do.
Right.
So when you're now functional, you see how your body behaves. Now you're back to the school. So your body's now back to where you was at school. And you say you want to build muscle, so you're going to go to the gym. When you go to the gym and you're working out, your body's going to start responding in the way that you want it to. Your body's going to start to get back into that, looking in the exact same shape as when you was at school.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, Sam, listen, we have to jump on.
Thank you so much.
Listen, we always we love having you in the team. We love helping you out. And you got my IG, man. You got my WhatsApp, so you can message us at any time. but we're glad for those diagnoses, and we'll work through that one as well. And we want to slap the wrist of the NHS for misdiagnosing you. But I think it's encouraging that you went for that. You know, we say all the time, you know, we try and stay away from allopathic medicine, but the diagnostic procedures, that's modern technology. And we'd be fools not to use that. It's out there. Go and get the scans, the radio scan, whatever technology they got, short of them putting, you know, radioactive chemicals in your body, like a barium meal, which some people have to take because it's that level, you know, of gastric discomfort. But you've done the right thing there. So stick with us. We'll stick with you. Nice to see you back, Sam.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Miss Laverne. So I'm gonna try and get through a few more. I got my friend Derek on here. I'm trying to get to him as well, but I did have some hands raised. Laverne, you've been there for a minute. I see you. You're in the chapel, I think.
Yes, I mean, yeah. I was about to leave anyway.
Oh.
Yeah. What was my question? My question is for fasting. Because my son is like, he has to do a detox, but I don't know about him doing a 14 days. So is a fruit fast something that he can do? And
is this the athlete?
Yeah.
All right. So the reason why he wants to do the detox, is it that he's kind of cheated? He's messed up?
No, he's like, he actually, the last game they played, they had food, and he showed me what they give them, and he said his stomach was kind of reacting to the food. And they had chickpeas, they had vegetables there, and what else did they have? It was good. I think they had meat there too, like a white. They had like a white looking kind of. I think it might have been chicken that was broiled or something. Right. So yeah.
Did he eat the chicken?
He eat meat. He does. I mean,
okay.
He eat meat. So he's just like, when I come home, Mom, I know I need to detox because I've been eating, you know, buying food, eating food, and so forth. So I'm like, he's saying that, and I'm like, I don't know. I hope I can get him to do the fruit, because I know getting him to do 14 days, you know, I don't know about that, but no food right now. So
here's the thing, right? The reason why we've got the Great Black Athlete Detox, again, it's a lifestyle. It's not like, all right, do this. The 21 days is basically 21 days of trial, right? But it's a lifestyle.
Okay.
Intermittent fasting, smaller portions, quality foods, and it will detoxify him because he's always training. He probably trains every day.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Strenuous training. So all it is that if he omits the toxins, the meats, and that which you know, whenever we eat meat, it's hard for us to digest it. So some of it is deposited as fat, right? And the toxins in there will fester somewhere or attack somewhere. So it's important that, you know, if he does slip up and he does eat meat, the thing is right now, because he's so young and his metabolism is up there, because, you know, he's not overweight, you know, he's lean.
Yeah, he is.
Right. So it's just about him keeping the toxins out, because he's doing all the exercises, but he has to make sure that he stays on the nutrients, on that he's getting all the nutrients his body needs, so that he doesn't have to say, you know, it's cold, right? You need to get your protein and whatever. That myth. We don't want him falling into that. So all he has to do is stick to the program of the athlete detox, where all the nutrients that his body needs, he's getting it from that. He just has to omit the toxins.
And that would be the meat. The toxins are like the meat.
Yeah, the meat. If he has even things like Gatorade, right?
Yeah, I guess he probably do drink the Gatorade that they give them.
Right, because it's all those chemicals that's in Gatorade, the colors and the preservatives and the sweeteners, and that these are the things that will cause problems. Now, because he's got a high metabolism right now, he's probably metabolizing it out, but it is taking slowly slowly taking its toll.
You know what? But I'm glad because like he is so glad to come home because he know when he's home,
proper food.
He does, and he's gonna follow with us. He's gonna do, he will come off for the meat and he wouldn't do certain things. And yeah, so he just need to follow the athlete. I'm gonna tell him. And also I told him I'd get him some digest, and he should get some digest. And what's the other one for your stomach, digest, and another one you had told me?
H-Flux.
H-Flux, yeah. I'm gonna just get him those, let him get along with the athlete kit. So he can use that. And yeah, I bought my stuff. I'm just waiting for them to come so I can actually start my program and my protocol. I went to the OBGYN, they did my blood, and he was like, "You look anemic," and I'm like, okay. So that day I didn't even eat. I normally don't eat until after 2. So I got there and she was gonna draw my blood. She's like, "You didn't eat?" I was like, "No." She said, the woman was like, "You crazy?" I'm like, "I'm not crazy," because they don't know that I take supplements and what I'm doing. And she think I'm crazy. But actually, because of the time of my appointment, it was close to the time I eat, so I didn't eat. But up until now, I'm like, "Well, y'all ain't calling me to tell me if I'm anemic or not." I can't hear from them, and I want to know what it, because they drew my blood and everything, because I'm I'm taking the is anemia, yeah, because I've been kind of diagnosing myself before they tell me anything. So I've been taking supplements, switch out from all the other stuff that I was doing.
And have you been following the anemia dietary guide to make sure that you're not inhibiting iron absorption with foods that you eat?
Yep, I do. I have that list of foods that you're not supposed to take. Actually, I take my iron in the morning with all my other supplements because I don't eat till after 2 or around 2. So I take it in the morning, and I take it before I eat. So I'm not eating anything. And I do the chlorella, the water. I still do the structured water thing.
And are you doing raw pumpkin seeds?
Oh no, I didn't. No, I don't do those. I have to start.
You have to, right? Because not only, raw pumpkin seeds, not only do they provide you with iron, but they also are very good in inhibiting aromatase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can put that in my smoothie, because I make a smoothie with hemp seed, hemp powder, and banana. And I actually put a macaroon powder.
Make sure don't. All right. So the banana you're using, is it the Cavendish, the usual yellow banana?
That's what I'm getting.
All right. So don't use banana. Use plantain.
Ripe plantains, the ripe ones.
Plantain. Whether they look green or they look yellow, use plantain instead, because those Cavendish bananas have manganese inhibitors programmed in. There's no seeds in the Cavendish bananas. Chop it open, no black seeds. When you go to the Caribbean, when you're in the West Indies and you chop open a banana, you're gonna see black seeds. But over here in the West, or in the Americas and in Europe, Del Monte and Dole and all them folks there, they have that hybrid Frankenstein, no seed, no manganese.
Okay. So you say I can use the plantain in my protein, in my shake that I make?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I got a bunch of ripe ones right now, so I'm going to use that instead of the banana. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Laverne.
Laverne.
Thank you. Okay, so, my laptop's died. Okay. So actually I had Patricia was up next. Patricia, did you still have your hand raised? I know you were on earlier on.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to assure Jacqueline, I've got a similar problem, kidney. I did an informal fast because I had severe kidney pain. I didn't want to go to the doctor because I knew what was going to happen next. I did a fast. I don't really eat terrible things. So what happened was my cells just released the toxins, say 3 days in, and that's when I threw up, because my kidneys obviously were overloaded. They weren't, my bowels aren't being used. So your kidneys aren't going to deal with all that toxin, because the liquid is going to, the liquid that you take in is just going to get filled when your cells release everything, whatever the problem is. And so I stopped having the kidney pain. Then I panicked and thought, oh, I'll start eating, felt weak. And that was the mistake. So what's happening is your body is, when you're having a problem, your body is unbalanced. And even when you're in a healing crisis. So you had yours later, 10 days down. So it is going to go a bit crazy, because your kidneys have got to, got to jump start again. And you might have just needed, a bit more time. So that's really what it is. And your body could take, time to balance itself back out. It's not going to be in perfect condition during the fast. Everything's going on. So I'm just trying to say that's kind of normal. Like I said, I panicked. I've done it again. And when I started eating after the fast, actually, that's when the kidneys started to go a bit wrong again, and I had to go back on a fast. So just wanted to let you know that, actually. That's all.
Patricia, thank you very much. And I just realized, your camera is a bit dark. I'm saying, Patricia, I said, she looks like my old school friend. Thanks for the flashback. People don't know, man. They don't know how we go way back. We go way back. Well, so thanks for joining. Hope we'll
You're
get
looking
together.
good, Patricia. You're looking real good.
All right, he's been whispering that to me the whole time.
What are we doing later on?
It's gonna go down in the DM. You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, we can't hear you. We muted you.
All right, listen, yeah, we'll catch up with you. Marva, you had your hand up again. Did you want to come and did you have another question, Marva? Your hand's still raised. I want to get to my boy Derek.
No, yes, I have a next question. I've just finished the 14 days. What supplements do I stay on, or what do I do now apart from the meal plans? And do I stay on the supplements for the diabetes?
Absolutely, yes. Until you get an all clear that it's gone, you stay on it. Now you have type 2, right?
Yeah.
All right. So type 2 is actually easier to reverse than type 1, because it does not involve building up beta cells in the pancreas. So even though with type 2 there is somewhat of depletion of beta cells as well, but stay on the supplements that you have, because it's providing you with the nutrients. So we want people to eventually get off the supplements, but we know that with today's diet, today's food stuff that we buy, there's a lack of nutrients, a lack of minerals. The nutrient content and the mineral content in foods, in produce, it has been depleted over years, because the soil has depleted in the same. So supplementation is necessary for everybody. I don't have any condition, ailment, disease, disorder at all, but because I make them, I take around 14 supplements every day, because it's free for me. I just go in and run out of that and grab a next buckle. Right?
How can I get mine free?
It's not free. I take a note. Everything he does, I make a note. He doesn't see.
If you have 4 daughters to give me, that's a good trade.
4 daughters?
Under the age of 35.
You might run from the first one.
Are you talking Lobola? That's bright price. That's
so sorry. Okay, I take I have the Pancogen, I have the RX, the liver RX, the kidney RX, digest, breed. I'm taking while I was doing my detox, I had like nine supplements I'm taking. So
Okay. So how do you feel?
I feel okay. I feel good.
All
and
right.
after my blood work, I only went down. My A1C was 10. It went 8.
All right. So it's decreasing. So that's good.
My
All right.
sodium went up by 1.
Okay. And your general energy has increased.
Some days when I overdo, I'm tired at the end of the day, but if I normalize my chores during the day, I'm okay.
Do you do the qigong?
Only the first part I did, but
all right. So again,
I do walking alone now.
So this is why it's important, right? The reason why we included qigong is because the qigong exercises that we've given, it provides like our all body workout and meridian flow, meridian release, and that. And these are very important. Now, we could have made things more difficult for everybody by saying, all right, do Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a lot more complicated than qigong. But these Eastern practices are good disciplines because they keep your vital organs well and they give your body a full workout. So you're actually exercising parts of your body that you will not get from, say, just walking. Walking is excellent, but walking doesn't exercise all parts of your body. So qigong, the reason why we've given you qigong is that, and qigong is very vast in the amount of exercises. We've given you a portion to do. But the qigong exercise that we've given you to do, they are, especially when you're dealing with the kidney tonification, right? The kidney tonification exercise is the most strenuous of all of them, right? But it is very important for you to do those, because when you do them, your energy levels are great. And when you do the gathering yin and you do exercises before you go to bed, you will sleep like a baby. When you wake up, you're fully refreshed.
Okay. One thing it just went from me. Can you repeat, or can you DM me the plans, the plans that you were just telling the last person?
Yeah, we saw your question in the chat. Which
so you've got the Life After Detox.
Yeah.
Meal plan. Stick to that meal plan, and I will send me an email. Send an email to was it info@greatblackdetox.com, info@greatblackdetox.com, requesting the elimination meal plan. So if you don't already have it, I'll send you that meal plan.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marva.
All right, Marva, thank you.
So listen, we've gone over time, but I was saving it because I know my brother Derek Dixie's on the call. Derek, are you still there? I think you're
I'm here, mate.
How you doing, Derek?
Oh man, I'm hanging in there, brother.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm glad you joined. Derek's a friend of mine over here in Atlanta in the HL region. Derek's like me, grown ass man, and he and I always building. And it's pity, Derek, earlier on we were talking to another gentleman who's got a number of health conditions, and young guy, and we were talking about this whole men's health, right? And so many men, black men especially, don't talk about their health. We're supermen, right? We're talking about this, Derek, and how we're providers. We work 1, 2, 3 jobs.
TBM
syndrome, right? And but listen, I'll let you. Whatever questions you have right now, Derek, I don't want to speak for you. I want you to ask the questions you have and share with Dr. Amsu. And we'll have the conversation that way.
Well, good evening to you, doctor.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, man, I'm hanging in there. And also, Mike, I'll see you tonight. And I just got my test results back from my blood work. I had a physical yesterday, and everything is fine other than being deficient in vitamin D. So he talked about 2,000 milligrams, vitamin D, for the next 3-4 months and stuff like that, consuming that every day. So that's that piece right there. So I'll show you this. I'll show you I did a printout. I'll show it to you tonight. But my situation is that I'm 61 years young. Never was on medication up until about maybe 7 years ago when I had a bypass. And it's simply because of clogged arteries, because of all the stuff that I was eating, the McDonald's and processed foods and up and down the highways and byways, building a network marketing business, as well as my roofing company that I own here in Atlanta. It caused me to have that bypass. They did a thoracic robotic one. So it wasn't down the middle, just a 4-inch incisions. And sort of it left me taking medications for the cholesterol and such. And as a result of it, that was that. I had to take that for that situation. Then I had a situation where a slip and fall off of a roof. And when that occurred, my rotator cuff on my right side, I had to have rotator cuff surgery on my right side. And then on my left side, the rotator cuff fell to where they couldn't attach it. So the bottom line is they had me on pain meds. And so I've been on these pain meds because of the pain. And so now I'm in a situation where having some back issues, pinched nerve I had, dealing with that. So as Mike and I was talking, I realized that my situation is that my body is inflamed. And I'm a father of a 4-year-old, I'm a widower, lost my wife a couple of years ago, Mike knew her. And so where I'm at now, and that is, I want to come up off of the meds. I want to detox. I want to come off the meds. Like you was talking, Doc, I do take my supplements. I take my supplements every day. So that's one piece, but the challenge that I face is pain. So there I am in terms of wanting to rid myself of it. And I know after being on the meds for a period of time now, and the question I shared with Mike last night was that coming up off the oxy, coming up off the meds, I know that it's going to be a trying time in doing so, but because I'm scheduled to go back to my orthopedic specialist pertaining to removing the bursitis out of my right shoulder, but in my left shoulder, there's a surgery that needs to take place because of the rotator cuff has fallen. I'm supposed to see him on the 25th of this month to schedule that procedure. So either way, I'm still going to need to take something to deal with the pain of it. So my question to Mike is basically, do I try to go down this road now of dealing with this med elimination, or do I just, just kind of hang out for the next 60 days and see just what the situation is with both shoulders, and then come to that which I want to be rid of the pain?
Yeah.
All right. So when you have an issue with any kind of joint ligaments, tendons, and that, right? Part of the healing process that your body requires is it needs to communicate that there is something wrong, and that communication does express itself as pain. So when we take pain meds, you're actually cutting off the communication that's required for healing to take place. One of my sons broke his toe playing football, soccer, years ago, where his big toe like was almost ripped off, and they wanted to put him on pain meds, and I said, nope, he's gonna have to take the pain. They told him he was gonna be out for like 6 months. Within 3 weeks, he was playing football again because the body went through the pain, but it was required for the body to repair itself properly and efficiently, right? So when we go through surgery, they say you need pain meds. If you don't take pain meds, it won't kill you, because pain meds don't heal you. They just make sure that your body does not recognize that it's in pain. That's all. It cuts off the signal to the brain. It's a neurological illusion, right? And here's the thing, because you're vitamin D deficient, that's going to be a major issue for you, because you will feel more pain because of the pro-inflammatory cells that are not going to be addressed by the vitamin D hormone, right? So vitamin D is a very vital hormone in your body, because it's an immunomodulator, right? It's present in over 2,000 processes, immunoprocesses or inflammatory response processes in your body. It basically regulates pro-inflammatory cells, inhibits them.
Okay.
So when there's any issue going on in your body, it's going to be swarmed by these inflammatory cells. Vitamin D basically says, hold on, nope, don't need you. We're going to assign the anti-inflammatory cells that will help to repair and deal with this situation, right? So most Black people, 90% of, maybe even higher, at least 90% of Black people in this country, whether they live in the North or South, are vitamin D deficient. Because those of us who live in the South, it's like we get miserable with the heat. We get miserable in the sun. This damn sun. Let me put the air on, put the shade, put the blinds down. I can't believe. I moved over here to get away from the shade, the cold and the rain and the clouds of the UK. So my blinds are open. Whenever the sun shines, I'm out there. And we live in Georgia, so we get UVB all year round, right? Even though it might be shorter in the winter, we might get an hour or two in the winter. But now we're in spring, we're getting a good 4 or 5 hours of UVB, right? That's the natural vitamin D. But we also do have a supplement called D3, right? We have a supplement called D3. And the way how we metabolize as Black people is different to how white people metabolize. So when you go and you get onto medication that's made and tested on white people, it may not have the same effect on you. In fact, we can conclude that they're not good for us, because this is why Black people are suffering more than white people are in this country, because the meds are not made for us. These medications, they're not medicine, right? So the reason why we have our herbal supplement company is because we're providing nutrients that Black people will best metabolize, right? And that's utilization of nutrients in the body, what metabolism is, right? So you being deficient in vitamin D, and if you're a roofer, that means that you're outside quite a bit.
I was going to say,
yeah,
right?
In the sun.
So there's a metabolism issue going on that has to be addressed, and it's in the gut. So our D3 all our supplements are taken sublingually, so it goes straight into your bloodstream. So it bypasses that digestive tract that can denature or alter, you know, the acids and the enzymes in the stomach can sometimes alter. And when people have issues, it could be parasitic, right? It could be you know, that there's too much bad bacteria in your gut, you know, things like lectin, you know, things that are going to cause issues, right? And you need to be on medicines that are going to benefit you. Now, when there are certain, like, we're not anti-surgery.
Sure.
So if you have an issue where they're going to correct something like your rotary cuffs and whatnot, right? We're not going to tell you don't do that. Do it if that's the answer. If that's the only answer, because there's a, you know, a mechanical issue going on. Let them correct that. But you need the nutrients, resources in your body that's going to naturally inhibit pain and inflammation, so that you don't have to take their medication, their synthesized form of cutting off signaling that creates issues. And here's something that you have to understand. Pain meds cause depression. Pain meds put pressure on your liver, put pressure on your kidneys. These are vital organs that have other responsibilities that when they become dysfunctional, you go into this downward trend quick.
And Derek, you know, we talked about this as well. And, you know, I know you haven't listed everything that's ever happened to you, right? But you know, you've got a number of things going on. But you hear from Dr.Amsu, and I know you and I talked as well, the importance of diet, right? The importance of what you eat. And we talked about medication, especially pain medication, because pain medication, as you know, doesn't deal with the root cause. Absolutely. You know, if they had that drug, then we wouldn't need all the other drugs, right? It's really just breaking the warning light. But again, when you break the warning light, you stop that signal, you're out there using your shoulders like you normally would. You're climbing the ladder, you're on the roof, you know, the pain's gone. So you're out there. Meanwhile, you're damaging.
Right.
You're exacerbating the issue that's there already. When you should be laying off that shoulder, put that in a sling and sit down and be eating the right foods that will reduce the inflammation, right? Reduce the free radicals that are in your body, maybe from the medication as well. You block the medication and you're out there. You know, you see the commercials, people take the pain med, and they're out playing soccer, riding the bike, doing all the things they couldn't do when they had the pain. But hold on. You still got the bruise. You've still got the wound. You still have the physical impairment, you know, so you're actually making it worse, right? Because what they don't want to do is advertise the fact that when you have certain conditions, you need to take time out from those particular activities and have your body rehabilitate. What they're selling to you is that if you take this pill, you can carry on as normal.
Have you skipping, they show the commercial, you're skipping through the daisies and all that. Got the guy out there with the dog and you're frisbeeing with the dog and playing catch with the kid, and it's like you're doing damage, man. You know, and this is the Western money machine where they want to get people back into work, you know, back on the treadmill, yeah, right? Back into the rat race. They want to get athletes back out there, taking knocks and whatever.
Cortisol shot straight to the joint, you know.
And you know, the whole oxycodone situation that you know, they had that what was the name of that show again? Dopesick, right?
Purdue family, yeah.
The Purdue family and all that. This is what, because everybody I want to get back to work. And you know, I don't know if you ever, you know, been in the gym and worked out and you get a back injury, and you know, right, with back injury, rest. Any good physician is going to tell you rest, bed rest if you have to, because don't put weight on it. Don't do any kind of strenuous movements or exercises or whatever. Rest. It needs time. And that's what pain is there to do. Is like, no, don't do that.
Rest.
You know, is that nigga, no, nigga, please. That's what pain is. It's like, hell no. Right. You ain't doing that. But when you have something to cut off the signal now, it's like, oh, you know what? Let your body naturally, your body's going to let you know when it can do what it's supposed to do. Naturally. That's why I don't like pain meds. Plus, you know, there's the mental illness side of pain meds, right? So when you fool your body and the signal is cut off, it doesn't mean that adrenaline and corticosteroids that are produced endogenously are not being utilized. They're still going off. You're not aware of it because all the processes that go on in the body is, you know, the involuntary processes in your body. We have no idea what's going on from 1 second to the next. There are trillions of metabolic processes that are taking place. We have no clue, right? So when there's something going on where you have a wound and you're doing something, there are steroids, there are corticosteroids being released unbeknownst to you. And they can interfere with your vision, with your cognizance, with your temperament, your behavior. And you're wondering, why am I so irritable? Why do I want to knock this guy out right now? It's because, you know, you got stuff going on that's making, you know, the hyperactive HPA axis, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis is off the charts, and you don't even know because you're not feeling no pain.
Absolutely. And Derek, and for everyone else on this call as well, and these are some of the things that exacerbate or, you know, inhibit our recovery time, because we're taking these medications, they're blocking the signals. And so, you know, it's a downward spiral we keep talking about. I mean, I keep mentioning as well, which prolongs recovery because we're not giving our body the right nutrients and we're not giving our body the right healing time, and we're not doing the right exercises. We're not flushing those toxins out of the body. And then we're piling on these medications that come with their own side effects on top of that fact, you see? So we're really compounding the issue. So listen, Derek, we've actually got to move on, but look, I want you to come in one time. We're going to have an interview because Derek's got a lot to share with us.
Right.
And Derek exemplifies to me a lot of what, and guys, you can throw me under the bus after this as much as you want, of what Black people, Black men specifically go through in countries like America, in the UK, and probably even the Caribbean, right? Where we are, you know, I don't want to use the word forced because, hey, you got a choice. You know, you can be a bum on the street, but if you want to be of anything in America as a Black man, chances are you have to, whether you've got your own company or not, work those hours, right? And if you work for a company, you know, there's so many people now working at Amazon, right? They can't not go to work. They're picking up second shifts and third shifts because it's hourly pay. They're exchanging their time for money. When they're on the job, remember, they're pulling pallets, 1, 2, 3, 400 pounds, wearing flat shoes, wearing shoes that aren't conducive, shoes with no arch. And so they do this for a year, 2 years. I have friends that work for Coca-Cola and Pepsi. They deliver Coca-Cola to the gas stations. You see the truck pull up, the guy comes out, he's got the waist, the what do you call it? The weight strap.
Right.
Because they're literally pulling 1,000 pounds. And you know, they hire big Black guys to do this job. They're doing that job 15, 20 years. Then they get sciatica and all these other, you know, ribonucleic problems in their backs. And guess what they're on now? Painkillers.
Right.
They've not been paid for shit for 15 years because they're driving a truck and pulling pallets. So this is what so many Black, and I'm not saying that that's what you do there, but regardless, even some of us working in the corporate world, which I know you've done as well, we put ourselves under so much pressure. So there's the mental stress, there's the physical stress, and then there's the toxin stress, and then there's the medication stress, and then there's the stress of just walking down the street. All of these things, you know, sort of compound those issues, which is why, you know, from a holistic standpoint, listen, we're cold. Listen, we'll tell people all the time, listen, quit that job. Don't live in that town. Move to a nicer town. Dr.Amsu, don't we tell people? We tell people. You might want to leave Philly or whichever part you don't like and move to Atlanta or Kentucky or somewhere warmer that's more conducive, because we did it before. The whole Black community migrated 50, 60, 70, 100 years ago from the South to the North and other places to get to a better life, to get work.
Mike, I tell you this much, I'd love to come on your show, man, because like you said, you know, there's another part to me, and that is a entrepreneur.
You are an entrepreneur.
You know, I mean, you know, to the core of my heart.
Yes.
And I haven't had a job prior to starting a roofing business that I slipped on a banana peel and got involved with about maybe 8 years ago, whatever. But prior to that, I hadn't had a job in 30 years, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, so
yeah.
But let me let you guys keep going. But listen, Mike, whatever it is, I'm ready to start this regimen like right now.
Yeah.
So I want it all. Whatever the package you guys have together, I want it all, because what I'm hearing, and that is, I'm gonna go ahead and listen to what the doctors have to say, my shoulders or whatever the case may be. But I want to start this regimen of being able to wean myself away from depending on these meds, because at the end of the day, and the other question going to be, I have a 14-year-old daughter. It's just she and myself. So getting back to that whole thought of the supplements and things you guys have, I also want my daughter to be on these things as well. She's a U.S. junior aquatic swimmer.
Yep.
It's what she does. So now when Moms was around, Moms did her best to try to make certain that my daughter had what she needed in her body, the carbohydrates and things like that. Well, me being the daddy, I'm not equipped in that way. So, at the end of the day, knowing that I can supplement into her body, are these things you guys have?
Absolutely. And Derek, something more important as well, because I've got a daughter who's a teenager. I'm sure several people on this call have daughters that are teenagers. Your daughter's at the age where they're starting to set them up. They're seeing them walk past. They're seeing them on the street, because they know in a few years' time they're going to get on their menses and they're going to put them into that trap, the birth control trap. Okay, the female reproductive health issue trap. They get them when they're that age. By the time they go to college, right, they're rubbing their hands, right, we're going to get them on some kind of birth control. Do you see? So we want our daughters to be at their optimum health, right? So they've got to be on the right nutrition. We got to teach them, we got to educate them, because listen, the schools have had them on Takis and Capri Suns and what other foolishness, and God knows what other foolishness they have them eating in the school. Smoking from a cow, food that doesn't go off, and they're happy to get it.
Those lunch,
it's all in one. There's little breadsticks,
you got
little yogurt,
got the ham,
right?
Square
little
ham.
Hams, yeah.
It don't go off.
It doesn't go off. How?
What the hell is that?
How does meat and veg don't go off? And they're handing them out at soccer practice. So we got to educate and absolutely wean our kids off of those things. So Derek, listen, we're going to build. We might even talk to you tomorrow, but yes, we're going to put something together for you. We're going to have you back on this call, and we're going to again love to have you in an interview, because we don't get enough men on these calls. We had a few on today, which is kind of surprising. Maybe it's because it's the first one in a little while, but more men. Before you go, in fact, Derek, and don't leave anywhere. Dr. Keeler, I know you had your hand up. I don't know if you had a question or you wanted to sort of weigh in on Derek's condition.
Just briefly, a big source of pain in the body is the inflammation itself. So I mentioned to Mr. Breaks and Dr.Amsu a few months ago when I had a major knee injury, fell, and my whole body weight went, instead of to my hind quarter and my lumbar spine, thank goodness, because I already had an injury there, it went through my knee, and I had both vertical and horizontal meniscal tears with multiple cysts. That's a serious knee injury. It's the kind of pain that you holler, but no sound comes out. What I had to do, once I stopped being just human, I had to recollect, what can I do to stop this from being a worse injury? And I remembered what I did for my spinal cord injury. And that was, they wanted to put me on oxycodone. I opted no. And the neurosurgeon looked at me like I was crazy, because my disc was herniated outward and upward. So it was touching motor nerves and then sensory nerves, because the way the spinal cord is arranged, the sensory nerves for each section are technically above the motor nerves. Okay. And it was my entire femoral nerve. So everything that operated the buttocks, the hip, the thigh, the quads, and the knee for position in space called proprioception, as well as my anterior and inner leg, between my knee and ankle, all the way down the surface of my foot to my toes. So I couldn't drive either. I couldn't walk. I couldn't put on pants, which meant I couldn't put on underwear. And I remember asking the creator, what can I take? Because I do not want pharmaceuticals, because once you get off, the pain is far worse. And he reminded me to go to different plants, different herbs. Now, this is something you will not want to do long term, but perhaps you may consider a mixture of turmeric and cinnamon with clove and ginger. They are all anti-inflammatories. They're okay, but they're kind of strong on the kidney. So if you have kidneys that are injured, you don't want to take that. The clove, if you have a liver that's injured, you don't want to take clove. If you have a kidney that's injured, you don't want to take turmeric. Because turmeric will, over time, if taken too long, will polymerize and create stones where in the kidney. Whereas clove will, over time, and if taken in too high a dose, will start to kill the liver cells. But in small amounts, in a big 16 ounce of tea, this is what I did. I'm just saying what I did. I had like between 6 and 7 ounces of fresh ginger, not the stuff that is GMO. I had maybe about 4 cloves in a 16 ounce pot of water. And then I added 4 cinnamon sticks. So what I was trying to do was control the inflammation in multiple ways. One way you control inflammation is blood sugar. You keep your blood sugar low, it keeps you awake, aware, alert, but it doesn't get high enough to become an irritant to the body. So it doesn't become high enough to become an irritant to your nerves, your blood vessels. So that way you decrease the pain. I had to drink that Q 6 hours. So in a 24-hour period, I drank it 4 times. So I never took it on an empty stomach because the turmeric alone will make you want to be nauseous. I always took it mid-meal. So I made sure I drank something hot, like a nice neutral tea, like ginger or green tea. Por favor, apágalo. Gracias. I took my ginger tea first. And then instead of taking that melange of potent anti-inflammatory and blood sugar lowering herbs, I ate a little like a vegetable or preferentially a fruit, an anti-inflammatory fruit like pineapple. But you gotta know you don't eat the canned pineapple. You get the fresh pineapple, wait till the outside starts to turn like a yellowish brown. Almost the skin gets ashy, and then you peel it. You don't have to remove the eyes of the pineapple. You want the whole pineapple and especially the core because the bromelain is at the core. And you eat that every time you drink the tea because what you're doing is attacking inflammation at multiple sites. If you've been in the military or you have known anybody in the military, the most effective military offensives are the ones that overwhelm the enemy. That's what you're doing with the inflammation. You need some inflammation to heal the tissue. What you don't want is chronic, overwhelming, smoldering inflammation for months on end because that will destroy the tissue. And then what ends up happening when you take this stuff with food, you assimilate it better. You'll notice that when you have pain, you have swelling. It's not just the injured tissue becoming more porous. Pain is a stress. Initially, you'll have water reabsorption in the kidney to bring up your blood pressure, but chronic pain will increase antidiuretic hormone in the brain. Antidiuretic hormone does what it says it does. It stops diuresis. It stops you from urinating. So you absorb even more fluid. So you're absorbing fluid from the injured tissue, you're absorbing fluid from the pain of stress, and all of it together is making all the pain worse. So instead of focusing on the pain per se, you focus on the inflammation early in the day. You don't wait till you have the pain. You focus on it dietarily early in the day. Now, in addition, so like when I had my knee injury and when I had my back injury, I blasted my body with this stuff 4 times a day. Q 6 hours, every 6 hours. But the difference was with my knee and why my knee recovered better is that I took Great Black Detox, Dr.Amsu's joint RX twice a day. And I took the osteo RX twice a day and the vitamin D twice a day. So essentially, I took a lot of the core functional products in the athlete RX. And when I had to have my MRI still looked badly, but I did not have the level of inflammation that would cause me to have to remain walking up with the crutches, with a cane, or with a walker, because I was walking with a walker. Wow. For the first week, 10 days. And I kept blasting my body with these foods until Dr. Amsu's athlete RX came, and I just blasted my body. I added that every time I took before I took the food, I did the joint RX, osteo RX, vitamin D, and I let that sit sublingually for 5 minutes, all together, not separately, all together. And then I went and ate, but I did not eat starch. So no rice, because it breaks down into sugar. It causes inflammation. I stayed away from anything that was high glycemic. So no processed foods, no pasta, no soft drinks, no Gatorade. Gatorade, the best Gatorade is coconut water, mango, things like that. You really, to stop that inflammation, have to reorganize how you eat, but it's doable as possible.
Derek's shaking his head. Derek's shaking his head because
I'm sorry.
he and I have had this conversation so many times. He knows, like, Derek told me the other day he went home because he and I have been building, and he goes, he went home, you know, because convenience. You know, he's working, he's out there hustling, he's driving all over the Southeast, right there. You're in different states doing consultations on these roofs and, you know, big projects. You're not just in houses, you're doing churches, like big projects. So you get home, your daughter's there, and you reach into the freezer, you stick in the microwave dinner and you keep it moving. And Derek told me the other day he went home, man, after speaking to me, he goes, Mike, I went into the freezer, I just took out, I don't know how much dollars worth of frozen freezer food. He goes, I just chucked it.
Had to be about $300 worth of food, man.
And what'd you do with it?
Throw it in the trash.
That's what you have to do. And Derek, I know you're shaking it because this is very daunting. You know, we've been accustomed to convenience. All of us grew up with convenience. You know, Dr. Amsu and I, we laugh all the time about how we used to eat when we were kids, right? And as we got older, we realized, no, we got to prepare our food. We actually got to cook food. Almost any food you get outside, almost any food, unless it's from an actual restaurant where there's chef actually cooking ingredients from scratch, is going to be some degree of process. And especially if it's meat. And we laugh all the time. You go to a restaurant outside open hours, you see the big Cisco or the US foods truck outside, you know where they're getting their ingredients. The chef isn't going to the farmer's market with his basket. That's just for the video they got on their website. They're getting that food delivered from US Foods, Cisco Foods, and whatever other large food distributor who's got the stuff frozen in some warehouse. We have to start getting closer to cooking and preparing our own food. Now, here's the thing. It's daunting. Derek, it's day one. Rome wasn't built in a day. We're going to build on this. We're going to gradually get there. You know, there's some very simple things you can do straight away, and some things just take a little bit more time to get used to doing. You're going to have to shop a couple miles further away from home than you normally do, but this is all part of it. Here's the thing I was going to say to Fabian. I think Fabian fell off the call earlier on. We are a goals-driven paradigm. We're not driven by how difficult it is to cut an orange or a lemon. We're driven by how healthy we want to be in 15 years' time. We're not driven by, oh my goodness, I got to go and shop 10 miles from my house. I got to go to the farmer's market. I got to grow some vegetables. No. That's not the motivation. The motivation is I want to be off the pain meds, right? The motivation is I want my daughter to not be put into that trap, that female reproductive health, birth control trap. These are the goals. These are what drive me and my household and Dr. Amsu's household. So Derek, listen, I know it's daunting. Again, Rome wasn't built in a day. We're going to get there. Before you know it, you'll be an expert. You'll be at the Y preaching to all the guys like I do in the sauna about what to eat and what not to eat. But we start here. But listen, I'm going to build with you. I may not see you this evening, but we're going to put together a regimen for you of those supplements that we know you're going to need, and some meal plans as well. And I just wanted to make sure everybody understands when Dr. Keeler said athlete
RX. What it is that it's the Great Black Athlete Detox, right? So the supplements that she mentioned from the Great Black Athlete Detox are Joint RX and Osteo RX. Now, D3 is what every illness that we have as Black people, we need D3, right? And the reason why is because, again, 90% of Black people are vitamin D deficient. We require more sun than everybody else because of our melanin. Melanin inhibits synthesis of vitamin D, right? It blocks UVB, it protects us from sunlight, right? So it inhibits the effects of sunlight. So we need more of it. So that hour that we get in winter of sunlight in Georgia, or 1.5 hours, it's not enough, right? That's why right now we're coming out of winter, and for some reason this year, spring is trying to hold. Spring's on a long thing. What we say, spring's not. It's not kicked in. It's
Spring
cold.
doesn't want to come.
Like today was all right, just about all right, but we're deficient. Black people, Black women require even more than Black men of UVB exposure. Black women are the most vitamin D deficient people on the planet. So what does that mean? It means that they're more at risk to every single condition that there is, because vitamin D is so important. It's an antimicrobial, right? That's something I didn't mention before. It's an antimicrobial. So we're bombarded, we inhale, we ingest microbes all the time. Every second of the day, we're ingesting these microbes, and vitamin D deals with them without an inflammatory response. But when we're deficient, not only do we not take care of the microbes, they are allowed to fester and create maladies, conditions, right? But the response that when we're under attack, it's pro-inflammatory. So you heard Keela talk about early in the morning, before any kind of pain, you bombard them. You go at them. Before you go bed, you bombard them, right? So very important, that vitamin D for the inflammation. And, Joint RX, because I was like, me and Mikey was in there laughing like, Keela's giving them all the ingredients going on here. Now what we do, because of turmeric, we create formulas, because we know, all right, every medicine can become a poison due to dosage, right? If there's too much of it. So my job as an herbalist, as a formulator, is to make sure that there are counter ingredients that, if this in excess can create this condition, what can I put into this formula that addresses this potential issue that can be caused by an excess of this thing? So that's why, we're Blue Peter over here. Here's something we created earlier. And then when we have a supplement that, okay, this is a great supplement in itself, but this supplement, if it's used in a prolonged fashion, may cause, be a cofactor to this situation. Here's where we have now a liver RX. That you take this supplement here, but here's liver RX, here's blood RX, here's D3, so that everything, you're getting all the nutrients your body needs, and it's also balanced so that there's no chance that you can be, you can OD or have an excess in anything that can cause another issue.
I got to have it. I'm ready for it. I gotta have it.
We got you, Derek. Listen, folks, no, thank you, Derek, for joining, and thanks for sharing.
Hello,
that
Ruth
as well.
B. And Ruth is trying to wind us up. She put her hand up at the very end.
Wind up merchant.
So
should we ignore her?
Good evening to you. In fact, what's time?
Hello.
Hello. And you got the TV on to add insult to injury. Watching these fingers.
I'm not. My mum's watching watching a Korean movie series on Netflix.
Tell her to turn it down because she don't know what they're saying anyway. Read the subtitles.
She's reading the subtitles. Hold on, let me get up and move. Because she's a little hard of hearing. Yeah, I was just going to ask. Actually, it's on behalf of a friend of mine who has bought products for to deal with diabetes, but hasn't been having a good result.
Okay.
Basically, she's had to stop and go back onto her medication because all her numbers went skyrocketing, and they were scared that and I'm trying to think if it was her blood pressure as well. So I just wanted to know what might have caused that.
Okay, has she stuck to the meal plan as well?
I would suggest possibly not.
Right, because here's the thing is that when somebody has a condition, one of the first things that we want to do in order for them to heal is you need to remove and omit the things that were creating your problem. Because we don't, even though our supplements contain nutrients that are going to start fighting these things, but if they're bombarding themselves with the actual ingredients or substances that create the issue, it's counterproductive. And it depends how far they're gone as well. So it's important when somebody is on our supplements that they're also removing the actual root causes of their issue, because without removing that, that's why, you know, we always tell people, okay, when you have an actual condition, the first things first, do a detox, do a fast, do some form of a fast where that substance is out of the picture totally, right? And you're taking the supplements. Then after doing a fast and whatever, and your body's in a better position, you keep that out of the picture and you're taking the supplements because your body is
sorry for interrupting. Can everybody hear the music? It's really loud.
There's music?
Yes.
It's
me.
You can't hear it.
But they can.
Yeah, I didn't know they could hear it. Thanks for telling me.
Oh dear. He thinks he's a DJ.
That's unprofessional. We ain't finished yet. This guy's listening to Shawaddy.
It's actually all the music that you lot play when you're trying to get rid of people. So I take it in my stride.
So here's what I'm saying in a nutshell. When you have an illness, an actual condition that you're trying to get over, you cannot continue on a regimen that created the issue. You can't do it. You have to stop. You have to stop. So if we don't tell anybody, all right, this is how Western medicine works. Go ahead and keep on doing what you're doing, and we're going to give you this thing that's going to alleviate symptoms, but then it creates another issue because it's so potent in trying to alleviate this one particular. All right, this particular symptom that you're having or whatever, what have you. We want everybody to remove the cause, cut it out. When you cut it out, and this is why detoxification is so important. You're removing the actual thing that caused the problem. The two cannot exist, cannot coexist. You're not going to continue taking diabetes-causing substances while you're trying to eliminate or reverse diabetes.
Right.
You're not going to alleviate high blood. That's why we don't like blood thinners. Well, for people with high blood pressure, because the two things should not exist. You can't have a remedy while you're taking the actual thing that's creating the problem. You have to cut out the problem. So diet, lifestyle, these are key. They have to, we have family members, right, who suffer with gout, but they always take alcohol. You're never gonna get rid of gout if you take alcohol.
Yeah.
It's never gonna happen. You might have a good day where, boy, you know what, I can dance, I can run, I can hop, but tomorrow you're gonna be hemmed up again if you take alcohol. So it's important. The reason why our detoxes and what we do, our protocols contain meal plans is that, look, here's what you should be eating. But then there's also household pollutants, chemicals, right? Air fresheners in cars, bleach, window cleaners, furniture polish, air fresheners, all these things that, washing up liquid, all these things that we use day to day. These are toxins that contribute to these problems. So it might not even be something that she's eating per se. It might be all the stuff in the environment.
Right.
That's bombarding her. So,
So what would you recommend?
So one of the things that, in fact, Chinyere is on the call as well, right? She does every week. She does a meeting to tell people how to detoxify their homes, what products to use in the home to keep the home fresh, clean, without all the toxins. So Chi-Chi's on the call. Agnes, if you want to just introduce yourself quickly.
Hi Ruth, how are you?
Hi, I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well. I can reach out to you privately if you like. So I'm going to drop my phone number in the chat and you can just you can text me. You're in the UK, aren't you? So I can reach out to you.
Yes, I am.
Well, I guess. So let's do this. So I'm going to just type my number in there and you can just capture it from the chat. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, sure thing.
Okay.
I'm sure I've got your number already, but hey ho.
Are you in our affiliates group? Are you in the
Ruth is Jacqueline's sister.
Okay. Hi,
Yeah.
Ruth.
Hi.
Ruth is Dr. Amsu's sister.
Yeah,
How about that?
I'm doing it by rank.
Royalty right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She does what I say. When I turned 15, she started doing what I told her. So
whatever.
How does that work?
Look at the mess she's in now.
It's such a lie.
It was 16, wasn't it? He always adds a year.
He knows he was the runt of the family and he still gets slaps when we see him. So
that's some big shaming going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, so we'll be in contact then. Yeah. Via Jacqueline.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, and yeah, so that will be good because I mean some of them I know because some of the products I used to get some stuff through you actually,
and now
I'm getting my stuff. I just hop onto Jacqueline's order. Yeah.
It makes the most sense. I mean, there's a lot of products out there that purport to be natural and unfortunately they once investigated are not, and so really understanding that is important, and it has a lot to do with how products that are commercially marketed are formulated for the retail paradigm. And so because of that, most companies compromise the quality of their ingredients, and so we as consumers suffer as a result of that.
Okay, yeah, I agree. All right, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you. Well, listen, guys, top of the call, I said it's going to be an hour long. That was 3 hours ago. Go ahead, Ruth.
Right. Sorry, that was from my friend, but now for me, I have no, just one little thing. I've been getting pains in my joint, in my knees, so on the outside of my knees. So and I've noticed that they've started to click. Now, I'm hoping it's not rickets, but I'm eating a mostly plant-based diet. I do have supplements, although I'm running low, hint, hint. I just want to know, can you tell me what I should be doing? I mean, it's very difficult. It's been winter and it's been very hard to get some of the food that you don't find out in the hotter climes. So what can I do to maybe get over the pains in my knees and in the particularly so not outside, and I've noticed a bit of inflammation in my knees as well, which is strange.
Do you have joint RX?
Hold on, sorry, it's so bad. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm just going into the fridge.
You might need our memory formula, because if you're looking at these things every day and you
I know, no, it's so bad. No, I don't.
All right, so joint RX, all right, stay there, because I'm going to ask you what you got, and I don't want you going back and forth.
I know, it's so bad, so bad.
Okay,
It's age, it's late. I've got D3.
All right, D3 was the next one I was going to ask you if you have. Now,
Essence.
What I will tell you to do, when you take D3, how long do you hold it under your tongue for?
Easily 10 minutes.
Okay. How many times a day are you taking it?
Once, sometimes twice. All
right. So religiously do.
And I do it at
times
night.
a day. Religiously, right? 3
Okay.
times a day. Because again, you have got 0 sun. I think maybe in May you guys start getting it, right?
Well, it started now. It's starting now. The the climate is changing, the temperature is changing.
Right, but even though the temperature is going up, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting UVB.
Right.
So, at least 3 times a day, take the D3, right? You need joint RX as well, because if you have clicks, that is indicative of connective tissue depletion, right? That there's some form of depletion on your connective tissue, right? Ligaments and tendons, right?
Right.
So joint RX, just make sure you send me that note. Remember to send you.
Okay. Okay.
And osteo RX as well, because that's going to help with all your limbs. All right.
Yeah.
And what's your water intake like? Do you drink a lot of water?
Define a lot. Water on its own or water in tea?
Water on its own.
Not so much, but I've started drinking coconut water.
All right, so increase your water intake. The coconut water is good, right? But drink water as well, just water, right? Increase your water. And I know it's hard when it's cold. The last thing a lot of people want to do is just water, right?
No, I don't like water.
Drink room temperature water, right? Make sure it's room temperature.
I don't drink cold anything. I don't drink cold anything. So
okay, and also when you bathe and shower, right? Lukewarm to cold. So do warm water when you step into the shower and you're lathering up, warm water. But when you're rinsing off and that, use cold water.
In England.
In wherever you are.
Wherever you are, cold water.
It's cold.
Gauge it where it's just below,
lukewarm, maybe even.
Just below lukewarm.
I turn it down gradually. You don't have to jump in there like cutting cold, but you do. It starts hot, warm, and just turn it down, a little bit. Before you know it, you'll get a nice little. When you feel that little bite on your back, you know that the cold water is hitting you. And when I say cold, not freezing.
Right.
Freezing.
Right. So can you
exhilaration.
explain? Sorry, can you explain for everybody else why we need lukewarm and cold water.
All right, so hot water attracts inflammatory cells, right? Pro-inflammatory cells. It encourages white adipose tissue. Cold water encourages the thermogenesis, which is brown adipose tissue. Brown adipose tissue is high in mitochondria. It helps with metabolism. It's pro-inflammatory, and it keeps you warm and keeps you cool. All right. So when you bathe in hot water, you're actually contributing to white adipose tissue and to pro-inflammatory cells. That's why you see when athletes get a knock or whatever, they put ice packs on.
They're going to ice bucket. They're going to hold
right?
ice bath.
They put ice packs on, like you see them when they finish a game or they've been substituted off. They'll put wherever they got some inflammation, they'll cover it in ice. It's to encourage brown adipose tissue, but to also inhibit inflammatory cells, right? To bring down the swelling.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try that then. It's going to be very difficult because you know I'm a hot bath girl, but
right, and that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
Women especially like these hot temperature baths and showers, and it's not good. It's not good at all. It encourages inflammation. It encourages pain.
Yeah, I get a lot of pain. So yeah, okay. All right.
Well, I work out a lot, and sometimes I pull stuff and knock stuff and whatnot. But I always know, all right, within the space of a week, whatever pain I've got, it's gonna go. I had bursitis, and which is what encouraged me to formulate Joint RX, because I had Liver RX, and Liver RX was doing somewhat of a good job, but I was like, I got to get deep into this. So, I put together Joint RX, which got rid of bursitis totally. So it was my left shoulder as well. I couldn't jab for a minute, but I'm back in the game now. I can go and have a pub brawl every now and again. You know what I mean? I'm a geezer.
Okay.
And we'll leave that right there, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I want to play the music now.
Yes, you do that.
Is it loud enough?
We could hear it from before.
Is it loud enough now, though?
So unprofessional.
Do you have any speakers in this team?
All right, then. Have a good evening. All right.
All right, guys.
Well, listen, you know the drill, you know the routine, you know where to find us, where to catch us. Make sure you follow us on IG and all the rest of it. Have you guys enjoyed the new YouTube? We're putting out a lot more content on the YouTube, new video captions, we're getting more followers. We're trying to put more content out there for you guys, man. You guys got any suggestions? Let us know.
Like, share.
Thank you very much. Well, we love having you guys. I hope you like the new studio, the office. We're not always going to be in here, but we'll be in here sometimes.
I feel very cozy.
Yeah, but you don't do the digital bit, so
it's all good.
No, you don't have to handle all the back end stuff. So it's all right for you. You will it. I work with them. Listen, guys, sending love to you guys. Behave yourselves. Happy detoxing, safe detoxing, happy healing. And we'll see you next week. Probably the same time, I reckon.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Bye,
guys.
Marva.
Peace out.
Bye. Take care.
Take care.